Tonight on the Black Channel, the pressure is on Black society to choose the red pill or the blue pill, but we're asking, what if we choose none of the above? The Black Channel is live. Unapologetic, unadulterated, and absolutely uncompromising. Greetings, brothers and sisters from around the world, and welcome back to the home, the haven, the stronghold, the everlasting super fortress of intelligent black thought. We are the Black Media, and this is the Black Channel. And I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the voice of Black America, the Black Authority, broadcasting to you live from the only historically black college and university of higher education and learning in the cosmos. You are, of course, welcome to join us. And join us you shall, because on tonight's program, I have some interesting ground that I want to cover here, as promised from last night. Some quintessential questions that are asked and will continue to be asked because everyone wants to know. And it'll be interesting to see how things turn out because this really sets the course for things going forward. The reason being that when other groups are brought here, what they tend to do, because they don't share our heritage and our experience, they take a look at political parties here from the eyes of the dominant society because they aspire to be members of the dominant society. They came here specifically and expressly for that purpose. And so when they see, when you have somebody like the Lieutenant Governor of Virginia or one of these other places there acting out the way that they do, there's a reason for that, because they don't see themselves from our eyes. They don't see themselves from our experience. They take a look at the dominant society and say, I'm like them. They don't even look at themselves and say, I'm like myself. It is, I'm like them over there. It is an aspiration. So the key critical difference is that that's not something that we aspire to. We built our own identity, an identity that now the rest of the world viciously, relentlessly tries to incorporate into themselves. Now there's the accomplishment. Our identity that we built here on this soil in America, our identity is what everyone else now seeks to replicate. And of course, it's natural that they would. Of course it is. So when we take a look at the so-called political parties, we take a look at them from our perspective, which is to say, by the way, who do they serve? And there are going to be a lot of lessons that I predict are going to be learned, or maybe not learned so much, but they'll have plenty of time to do so. Because understand something here, folks, no matter how the election of 2024 goes, both of the political parties are going to have a lot of soul searching and going to have a lot of thinking to do. Because the truth of the matter is, 2020 shouldn't have been a nail biter. It shouldn't have come down to the wire. And 2024 should have been a slam dunk for either one of them. Either one of them, it should have been a slam dunk for. And yet it wasn't, and it's not. That's the problem. They're both desperate and worried. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. They're both very desperate and both very worried in a situation that should have required neither. How did they end up here? They ended up here because they keep trying to split the difference. Everyone is trying to figure out, how do you get black people's support and give them nothing? There's the whole issue. We have made it clear now for over a decade that we talk about tangibles. And every time they get together, they are now openly, everywhere you go. Remember when we started the Black Channel going on 2 decades ago, everybody was talking about politics and integration. Here we are now, nobody talking about that anymore. We have executed that one and burned it on the altar of history. Everybody's talking about black folk and economics, squarely on economics and now specifically on business. Okay. We got that, but we're not going to go for the smoke and mirrors. We told you what it had to be. It has to be cash money on the table. You can call it reparations. You can call it block grants. You can call it black empowerment. You can call it whatever the hell you want to, but you going to have to break bread and cut them checks like you have for everyone else. Considering the fact that you've been funding everyone else specifically for the purposes of attempting to buffer them against us. So no. We're going to have to go ahead and rectify that, or we see nothing to support. We see nothing to support. At the current rate that things are going, it could go either which way. On the one hand, you have the Democrats and Kamala Harris, who very well could be on her way back to California. She's a little old for OnlyFans, but, who knows? She might be able to make it pop off one of these days. What? But for a woman who should have been a shoo-in, or at least it should have been easier, it shouldn't be a nail biter in these places. She should be doing better than Joe Biden did in 2020. And yet she's depending on the media to try to feed folk as much as they possibly can and to run interference on every single level. The woman's not even doing interviews. That's not the sign of a candidate who is sure or certain. They're just saying, well, let me go ahead and see if I can hate and skate to the White House and don't ask me any questions. That's not the sign of a confident candidate. It isn't. Then on the other hand, you have Donald J. Trump, a man who comes to the table with a number of disadvantages. 2024 could have been the year that he turned all those disadvantages around if he could have gotten out of his own damn way. But, there's a serious issue here. You see, the reason why Donald Trump is in trouble isn't because of Donald Trump. The reason that Donald Trump is in trouble is because of Donald Trump's supporters and the base. I told you all over a decade ago that as the white population in America begins to shrink, heading towards 50%, you're going to see a whole lot more white nationalistic fervor and white nationalistic behavior. And that's what you're seeing. As the numbers get smaller, you're seeing them consolidate more on this pushing whiteness thing openly and blatantly in a way in which you hadn't seen since the 1960s. As if that's going to save you, which it won't. You have a shrinking stock that is depreciating. You're never going to be able to turn the clock back to 1950. And rather than accept this reality and make the necessary adjustments, they've instead been telling themselves that if they wish upon a star, if they rig enough elections at the state level, if they suppress enough voter rights, if they get in the way of the Constitution enough, well, they'll be able to squeak out yet another victory and replicate Ronald Reagan or whatever myth they're feeding themselves this election cycle. And it's not working. It isn't working. And the reason for that is because you've left yourself far too little margin. You've left yourself far too little margin for error. When you're running for a political office like this, you need to have a pretty wide lane for error. And Trump and the friends left themselves none. Now, the white supremacist media, of course, who has been sitting up here playing dumb all these years, they want to only sit up here and act like they have a problem with Laura Loomer when it suits them. They haven't had a problem with Laura Loomer now for the last decade. Now, the new black media has been taking her to task for a decade, and yet CNN and the rest of them never mentioned this woman before this week. They don't talk about the Ben Shapiros and the other white supremacists, the Matt Walshes and the other white supremacists. They disappear. They only mention them when it's convenient to them. Hey, don't you Negroes? Hey, Laura Loomer is a racist. So are most of you at CNN. So are most of you. But the issue here is that Trump has allowed that to be the case. There's the problem. A man who already comes to the table with enough strikes against him, and he is not smart enough to make sure that individuals like that don't drag the brand down even worse than it already is. You've got a razor thin margin with which to succeed, and now you've taken it down even worse. Nick Fuentes and Laura Loomer and the rest of these people here, you're supposed to be intelligent enough not to do that. You're also supposed to be intelligent enough not to get J.D. Vance on your team. Damn! You're supposed to be smart enough not to do that. See, the issue here is you have a bunch of these ultra-rich people, and because of their wealth, they get to live in these little make-believe fantasy bubbles of reality that they constructed for themselves. So, nope, they don't talk to any black people except black folk who already like them or already agree with them. That's what they do. They go looking for, that's how they can cobble together all those folks like that. Because these are people that are dependable because they want something. Back in 2016, Trump was surrounded by folk who wanted something. Shout out Daryl Scott. A bunch of people who wanted something. Shout out Steve Harvey. A bunch of folks who wanted something. So he had some Negroes around him, but yeah, these are glad-handing butt licks who wanted something. And you're going to have 2 or 3 of those. The problem is they don't represent the masses. That's the issue. So anything that they tell you is completely irrelevant. They don't represent you. They don't represent the soil. They represent your designated ass kissers, but they don't represent the people. So when they give you, quote, advice about how to appeal to the grassroots, it's null and void before they begin talking because they don't have any connection to the grassroots. But you've got people around you who are going to tell you what you want to hear. You're not going to have people around you who are telling you the truth. Hey, man, you messing up. The Republican Party is on its last leg because if Donald Trump, for whatever reason, did not run for president this time around, they probably would have either went to Nikki Haley, who said that slavery didn't happen, or Ron DeSantis, who said slavery did happen, but it doesn't matter anymore. You cannot run a national campaign being the party of Lincoln Rockwell and George Wallace anymore. That doesn't work because you're going to be depending on too many other issues with which to try to get people to overlook that. Your base will be loving the white supremacy, but elections are not decided by the base. They are decided by the people in the middle, the independents who don't really see themselves as left wing or right wing. They belong to folk like us who do not associate or give our allegiance to any one political party. We're the ones you have to convince. And you need to give us as few things to overlook as humanly possible, and the things that do have to be overlooked got to be small. So there have to be few and small. They can't be many and large. The Republican Party has been a party in denial of reality, in denial of mathematics. And the issue here is that now, instead of them doing something intelligent, like cutting a deal, instead they're attempting to deny reality because part of white privilege is the ability to deny reality. We all know that. Part of white supremacy is the ability to deny reality. Let's understand that. They've gotten so used to that idea that they can just deny reality. They don't have to go along with anything. If they say this is what it is, this is what it is. I'm white and I say so. That's what they've grown accustomed to. And now they're out here in the real world acting as if that's what's going to occur. Ron DeSantis found out the hard damn way that little white supremacist shtick he has literally doesn't play anywhere outside of Florida. Never mind the fact that the man is summarily unlikable as a human being. He's got the personality of a fireplace poker. Don't worry about that whatsoever. But that little white supremacist shtick don't fly outside of Florida. So if you intend to run for governor of Florida for the rest of your life, well, I guess that'll work. But if you ever want to leave it, it won't work. They have attempted to be tone deaf. They've attempted to be silly. And now you pay the price. Ron DeSantis didn't even make it out of the gate. Nikki Haley didn't even make it past the gate. That's what happens when you don't have our support. Ron DeSantis left the state of Florida and there wasn't a receptive audience anywhere. And the problem for Donald Trump is that when you got all these old white men, and when I'm speaking about their whiteness here, I am speaking about that from a socio-political perspective here, not a racial one. You see, as the dominant culture, the white culture, they've gotten used to the idea that you can be 70 years old dating a 20-year-old and you're just the life of the party and everybody loves you and, oh, they just can't wait to see you. And every time you show up, yay, white daddy, they expect everything is going to be like the reception they get when they walk through a Rwandan village. That's what they tell themselves. That's what they've gotten accustomed to. And instead of them doing what any sensible politician is supposed to do, as I've told them over a decade ago, when that Fear of a Black Republican documentary, shamumentary, when I warned them then that this will not work, attempting to reheat the leftovers of Ronald Reagan as if he was some great golden oldie that all of us Negroes have been sitting around waiting to start stamping our foot for, or that Donald Trump was going to be the second coming of Richard Nixon. By the way, if you're depending on a candidate to be the second coming of Richard Nixon, you got bigger problems than you think. You see, what they were supposed to do was start a decade ago. What they're supposed to do is start a decade ago. They're supposed to come here to the Black channel. They're supposed to come to the new Black media. They're supposed to be making inroads with us a decade ago. If they had done that, they would be a hell of a whole lot further along than they are today. Trump wouldn't be their candidate. Somebody with some damn sense probably would be. Instead, you grab this TV game show host who has national recognition and popularity, but he can't stop shoving his damn foot down his throat. The man started winning the election when he read from the teleprompter. He refuses to do that. He keeps snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. The Republican Party, if it had any sense about it, and clearly it doesn't, they tell Marjorie Taylor Greene that she needs to go hang out with Kim Kardashian for a little while and learn how to talk to some people. Instead, they keep letting these damn loose cannons sit up here, and if they do take 2 steps forward, somebody like her jumps up and starts speaking, and they take 3 steps backward. You should have been doing this a decade ago. Charlemagne is not going to get you to the White House. Talking to the grassroots will. You need to be completely fearless that you will talk to us anytime, any place, anywhere, and that you will actually address our issues, the ones we're talking to you about. But they're not doing that. Let me tell you something here. You can go on the Breakfast Club all you want to. You can go talk to Mike Tyson and his hot boxing. What? All you want to. That's not gonna save you.
And deal with it, nigga.
You're not going to convince us by finding some celebrity Negroes to go yuck it up with. That's not going to work. This idea that we're all sitting around waiting for Meg Thee Stallion to tell us who to vote for, or that, well, he plays hip hop music. You know, those Negroes like their hip hop. Those are their leaders. No, that's what you want to believe because you don't want to have to deal with the actual issue. Charlemagne is not going to sit there with you and have an hour-long conversation about reparations, tangibles, and black economics. Number one, he can't have that conversation. Number two, even if he could, he's not going to do that. That's why you're comfortable talking to him. They need to have some uncomfortable conversations, but they've been avoiding them. Let me explain to you why. You see on Twitter, you got the Democrats. They're constantly sitting up here dissing me, dissing Tariq. Every time you turn around, you see them sitting up there doing that. Now, if they see us, the Republicans see us also. And of course, that's very true. The Republicans know exactly who we are. They know exactly what we're doing. They're not talking to us. Now, they need to be speaking, but they're not talking to us. Now, they know better than what they're doing. But you see, I want you to understand what the issue is. The issue is that even though we talk about the Democrats and the WikiLeaks, and even though we talk about the fact that there were other folk up here and about the things that they want, that the Democrats had that memo running around talking about when you talk to Black Lives Matter, which means the Negroes, talk to them, nod your head, but don't make any specific promises. Do you all notice that whether it's Democrats or Republicans, both of them do the same thing? They both say, don't make any specific promises. The Republicans, however, don't say that their people don't make any specific promises. They just avoid any conversations altogether, and they've made you no promises, and they hope you just watching from the periphery. That's not the way it works. That's not the way it works. Donald Trump going to talk to the National Association of Black Journalists, that don't mean nothing. That's why he can sit up there and act a fool with them, because nobody gave a damn. Because the National Association of Black Journalists don't have no sway. They don't represent the people. They haven't represented the people in decades. That's the issue. So you're going to talk to folks that you're comfortable with, instead of talking to the people who actually speak to and for the grassroots. Roland Martin doesn't speak either for or to the grassroots. Sitting up here looking for some large media organization that keeps kissing CNN's asses and MSNBC's asses and, oh, they look legit. That's where you're messing up at. That's where you're messing up at. And you have to have a track record of this, because you have to convince us that this isn't just some flash in the pan tactic you're using or employing to sit up here and get yourself through an election. You're going to have to come to us and talk to us. You're going to have to come to us and talk to us. That's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to come to us and make the deal over here. That's what they are not doing. That's what they're not doing, is trying to figure out you can go talk to a couple of celebrities and then avoid the issues that we're speaking about. You've been hanging out with black celebrities too damn long. Oh, those of us in the grassroots, we're not trying to get a record deal or a movie deal or a record contract. We're not trying to do that. That's what's messing you up. You're not speaking our language because you don't want to. You're not speaking our language because you don't want to. In the chat room, let me be clear about something here. See, this is what happens when we get together. We talk about black business. What happens when we talk about black business here, and I'm doing this respectfully. We got some folk up in here, some of the slow bus kids, talking about Jill Stein and the Green Party. And you keep spamming that, and I'm going to remove you. Jill Stein that's great, and that's nice, and that's wonderful and everything. And I do get that Jill has not talked to us. Jill has not talked to us. Furthermore, this is the next thing that needs to happen here. Even if I were all in on that, and some of the slow bus kids who are spamming for her, like I say, some of y'all are like Bernie Sanders supporters. Y'all just jump on anything. You're not even really sure what you're supporting. You just jump on anything. You heard one thing, okay, we'll go for that. You heard one thing and then you go jump in. This is where maturity needs to come in. That's the reason why you keep having to spam that name, because, you know, when you're dealing with the ADHD kids, they just kind of talk in circles. You know, everything is just repetitive. Duh, 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 duh. No real higher level thought going on here. No real high level thought going on here. It's real easy for people to sit up here and say that they support reparations if they have no real intent on actually pushing that. It's very easy to say that if you don't have any real intention of following through with it. See, this is where some of y'all sit up here and don't have critical thinking skills. Yeah, it's real easy to, quote, support reparations when you don't actually have an intent on following through. You know what I would like to see? I'd like to see the Green Party sit up here and support what we're doing, but the White House level is not going to be it. The White House level is not going to be it. Jill Stein and friends, what they need to do is focus on one geographic area if you're going to take them seriously. But you see, that's where things are going to kind of split, because the problem is the folks who support her don't necessarily support what we're doing. That's the issue. The folks who support her, do they actually support what we're doing, or do they see that as a necessary evil of hopefully getting Jill in office? So before you sit up here and start throwing out names and yelling names and Trump this and Jill Stein this, and I don't have anything against Jill Stein, but one more thing, by the way, you had the young lady who was on here a couple of weeks ago talking about if somebody from the Green Party contacted me, you heard me say, sure, go right ahead. Nobody's contacted me. But then again, that was exactly what happened with Marianne Williamson.
What?
Wasn't it? Yeah, Marianne Williamson hasn't beat a path to the new black media's door either. Did she? Yeah, and of course, I'm aware there's some similarities there. There are some similarities there. I do understand that. But by the way, they ain't set up here and be the path to our door. They haven't spoken to us. Now, they'll go speak to the Breakfast Club. You know, the folks I just mentioned here can't do nothing for you. And then you go sit there in front of Angela Rye. And what I'm saying, or Angela Rye sits up here and tries to put out a diss track, and Angela ain't got no support. Angela doesn't have any sway. Angela doesn't have any influence. You're talking to people for whom it doesn't matter because they don't speak to nor represent the grassroots. In the chat room, just another one doing it again. Donna talking about, what about Cornell West? Folks, what I'm talking about here is some of y'all here, no disrespect. Hopefully they replace all the lead pipes in Flint, Michigan, so the next generation can be a little bit quicker in this regard. You just sitting up here yelling out names. You cannot name an agenda. You can't name anything serious. Cornell West sat up here and the Democrat Party has been getting his ass blocked on ballots. He's been having to fight harder than RFK to get on ballots in states, and then coming out here talking up Kamala Harris, the very woman who's keeping him off the damn ballots. So who is he supporting? You want me to vote to support Cornell West? Clearly he's not even supporting his damn self.
And deal with it, nigga.
The slow bus children. What about Cornell? You're not even keeping up to date with what's happening with him. But they're yelling out names. Jason, why are you doing it like this? Because I want you to become self-conscious when we have a forum like this put together with thousands of people watching right now, which wasn't put together by a corporation and wasn't put together by a black ass kisser like Roland Martin and wasn't put together by one of the Democrat shills like Van Jones. When we got something like the Black Channel here sitting here with thousands of us together, we ain't got time for Negroes sitting up here clout chasing and attention whoring, just yelling out silly ass names, and you can't even be bothered to keep up with the facts of the names you're yelling out. So it's time, yes, you need to be self-conscious about that kind of immature silliness. We have to be more sophisticated than that. You're not even up to date on the folks' names you yelling out. Cornell West last week literally shouting out Kamala Harris and dissing Trump. I'm talking about after the debate. last week. Literally sitting up here dissing Trump and shouting out Kamala Harris while he's complaining about how he's getting stymied on the ballots and can't get on the ballots in these states enough. It's the Democrats stopping him. He's Kamala Harris, my sister Kamala Harris, our sister, but she really did. Okay, very clearly he supports Kamala Harris. Very clearly, that's who he's supporting. Oh, I didn't know. Then why are you yelling his name? I don't be watching it like that. Then why are you yelling his name? Now that we got that cleared up, these political parties are going to have a hell of a hard time, because you see what happens with these immigrant groups they bring over here, think that they're going to split the difference. They end up splitting the difference because those groups tend to think like the dominant society, which means they basically split 50-50. White society is not ideologically opposed to the Republican Party. At times they are socially opposed to either the Republican Party or the Democrats. At times they are socially opposed. We are ideologically opposed to either one. We're ideologically opposed. That's the difference. We have a set ideology, a code. And the reason we don't support either one of them is because they are off code. They are against the code. And we're just not playing that game with them anymore. And the threat that they used to hold over our heads was bad cop, worse cop. Well, yeah, us Democrats ain't doing enough for you here, but Trump is really bad. He gonna get a hold of you. You don't vote for me, I'ma let Trump have you. That's the game that they've been playing. If we don't sit up here and kiss their asses, then they gonna let Trump have us. And what I'm saying is that neither one of you bastards deserves our vote. Neither one of you. Kamala Harris is not interested enough or reliable enough, and Donald Trump is not stable enough. And it's a hell of a thing when you sit up here and that's the jackass you have carrying your banner. Joe Biden belongs in a rubber room and Trump belongs in one right next to him. This is the best you can do? This is the best you can do. Hundreds of members of Congress and the Senate, hundreds of members between Congress and the Senate, and then when you add the governors, it goes up even more. And that's the best you can do. His base, that's what they want. Have you all considered that we talk about the old niggas over here in black society, but what about the old white folk? The old white folk voting for the dead, useless, irrelevant type of candidate that they're accustomed to. Donald Trump reminds them of their racist, bigoted ass uncle who comes over and says crazy stuff and whatnot, and it doesn't bother them because he's not really talking about them. Okay, but he's going to have to get elected out here. So you all are comfortable with your old, elderly, crazy ass, racist ass uncle, but he can't get elected. Well, he's not afraid to talk to Negroes. This isn't about whether or not he talks to us. This is about whether or not it matters. During my filming my documentary film, my last documentary film, Race War, I spoke to Richard Spencer. And I was telling Richard Spencer about the racist stuff he says and whatnot. Some of the race, I was talking about some of that racist stuff. For those of you who got the extended version, you might have seen that there. And he's talking about, well, I'm being honest. I'm like, I didn't say this at the time because I didn't want to get back and forth in that part of it. But I'm like, okay, yeah, you're being honest, but that doesn't make it any better. Yeah, I mean, I stole your car. Yeah, I did steal your car. Okay, well, that's kind of messed up for you to steal my damn car. Well, I'm being honest. What? Well, I'm being honest. And at least I'm being honest with you. Okay, well, you're being honest with me. Where's my damn car? This is how silly we're talking about here. Well, I'm being honest with you about that. Okay, that's not going to get my support. That's not going to get my support. Then you have Kamala Harris, who's exactly the opposite. She's being dishonest as hell. And you can see from this article in Politico here, and this article in Politico is from yesterday evening, as a matter of fact, and you can see what it says. Harris needs incredible turnout among black voters. Did you see that? This is Politico saying this. This is after the debate. This is into the weekend. She needs incredible turnout. It's according to Politico. They're letting you know that, by the way, it's not going to be as easy as they want to say there. Not going to be as easy. I want to read to you just a few paragraphs. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I want to read a few paragraphs for you here. The first paragraph says, the Congressional Black Caucus has served as the conscience of the Congress and of our nation.
Nigga, please.
And as a proud former CBC member, I know America relies on the leaders in this room not only for a conscience but for a vision, Harris said in a 9-minute address before lawmakers, congressional staff, and activists. So it's a bunch of privileged Negroes sitting around talking to the rest of the butt-kissing Negroes in their little sorority group. Quote, if we can get the turnout in rural Georgia, in rural North Carolina, rural Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, where we've got sizable pockets of black and brown voters, it puts less pressure on our urban areas, and it really allows us to run up these scores, Democratic National Committee Chair Jamie Harrison told Politico. It's going to be the reason why Kamala Harris is going to be elected 47th president. This is Jamie Harrison, who couldn't get himself elected, but he's here to tell you how great of a job that they're going to do with Kamala Harris at the helm, how great of a job they're going to do for her. That they want rural Georgia. How many black folk living in rural Georgia, rural North Carolina, rural Pennsylvania? What is he talking about? There's a major black population there. If we can get the black folk who are not inside the cities, you mean not inside of your LGBT enclaves? What? You know where that kind of garbage flies? Let me tell y'all something. That mess flies in downtown Atlanta. It doesn't fly anywhere else outside of downtown Atlanta. That's why they love talking about downtown so much. All that stuff they talk about there to distract us with, that only flies downtown for a parade. That does not fly anywhere else on earth. It doesn't fly anywhere other day of the week. It doesn't fly in any other area. That's it. Now, why are they talking about this? They're talking about this because the numbers are not going where they want the numbers to go to here. It says Harris surrogates and allies stress that there's still significant work to be done to turn out the vote. In 2020, roughly 90% of black voters supported Joe Biden, but that was down from closer to 95% in the few elections preceding that one. The network exit poll 4 years ago did show black voters between the ages of 30 and 44 were twice as likely to support Trump, 19%, as those 18 to 19, 10%, 45 to 60, 10%, and 60 and older, 70%, Roland Martin's audience. The 60 to dead. Younger black men in particular have been straying from the Democratic Party. Boy, they talking about black men a lot lately now. For the whole last decade, they told you black men didn't matter. It was going to be sister girl, this and that. Now, all of a sudden, they're letting you know, yeah. And I'm telling you all right now, that term black men, that is simply that's a dog whistle right there. That's a nickname for new black media. When they say black men, what they're talking about is the influence of the new black media. That's what they're referring to. That's a code word for the influence of the new black media. That's what they're talking about when they say that. So you're hearing that more and more, but they're letting you know that, yeah, this is bothering them because their polls are obvious. Their internal polls are obviously showing them that this is a problem that not only is not going away, it's getting worse. You see, these people keep these numbers so they can predict and count trends and predict where things are going so they can get in position to steer it when it gets there. And what they're figuring out here is that if the younger people are not supporting Democrats as solidly as their fathers and grandfathers did, when they get older, it will not change. So in other words, you're just going to get ever diminishing returns. This is why you have the Steve Ballmers and the CNNs and whatnot riding hard and heavy for as many illegal aliens as they can get, because they can see that this does not bode well for the future at all. This is mathematics, not an opinion. Says the younger black men in particular have been straying from the Democratic Party. The NAACP released a poll on Friday that found 1 in 4 younger black men are backing her Republican opponent, Trump. The survey, conducted in partnership with HIT Strategies and Hart Research, found overall 63% of black voters favored Harris, compared to 13% that backed Trump. The gender gap is significant. No, it is not. You all just keep trying to fabricate one. 2/3 of black women back Harris, but among black men under 50, Harris support plummets to 49%. Researchers caution the poll was conducted in early August, before both the Democratic Convention and this week's presidential debate, and say late deciding voters may break for Harris. Harrison also said he believes that a combination of investments from the Democratic Party, money to Roland Martin, as well as a focus on Harris's new economic policy will be key to winning over black voters. A combination of investments from the Democratic Party. So what does that mean? All I can hear right there is money to Roland Martin. A focus on new economic policy. Didn't say anything about a new economic policy for black people. Do you see the trick language there? You're supposed to just assume new economic policy. Well, that'd be for us, right? If they didn't say it is, then it isn't. And even if they say it is, you got to get them to give you the details and see if their language starts moving when they start giving details. Wes Bellamy, board member of the organization 100 Black Men of America, a nonprofit organization focused on mentoring African-American men, has also been working to combat what he calls misinformation about Harris's record, and is in the middle of a 21-city tour focused on getting black men to vote this November. He said that her record as a prosecutor and concerns about protecting the Second Amendment are typical. So now we see 100 black men. I've warned you all for decades about these nonprofits. These nonprofits, when George W. Bush came into office talking about he was going to give money to black churches, they love looking for a group of Negroes sitting around here they can throw some dollars at because they know they're easily bought off. So 100 black men, we talked about this with Steve Harvey when he was talking to Kamala Harris. 100 black men is looking for somebody to pass the bag to them. They don't give, as far as they're concerned, economic development is passing the bag to them. Damn the rest of us. Economic development, long as you pass the bag to 100 black men, you've done your part. So that's their perspective. You handed us the bag, you did your part. And we'll go corral the rest of the niggas. Then he says we shouldn't be concerned about the fact she was a prosecutor or the Second Amendment. Now he's going to tell us now, they ain't nothing to worry about. Ain't nothing to worry about. Don't worry about what she did. Okay, I got my money right here. Okay, they gave my money. Yeah, don't worry about that. He says, quote, when we hear situations like they're going to take away all of our guns, there's no information or policies for black men specifically. Like talking about all of those things are what we have, like talking about all of those things are what we have to debunk. But again, it takes time, said Bellamy, who wore a t-shirt that read, the ancestors didn't die for you to vote for Trump. These niggas don't have a new catchphrase nowhere. They don't have a new slogan. They don't have a new motto. These are the young old niggas. They looking to get the damn Walker and the Metamucil away from the old niggas. These are just young old niggas. We didn't march and die. Yeah, but you just vote for Trump. Nigga, how you know? How do you know? When did you do the poll to find that out? When did you confirm that? Just how to address young black men's concerns continues to vex the Harris surrogates. This is not Jason Black talking. This is Politico, and they support Kamala Harris. This is not Jason Black talking. They're not talking about all the things she's done wrong. Notice this article is not giving you a list of all the things she's done wrong to offend us. It's not because they don't know. This is another article here that's sounding the alarm that, hey, Kamala, there's trouble out there, and we know exactly where it is, and so do you. This is an article here meant to reassure us while at the same time not reminding people about exactly why they don't like her and why they don't trust her. So you notice they keep talking around the issues. It's not accidental. This will be propaganda on her behalf. It won't work either. Won't work either. Just how to address young black men's concerns continues to vex the Harris surrogates and activists hoping to get her across the finish line. During a Friday conference forum on the topic, a spirited exchange erupted over whether Harris herself is at fault for not directly speaking to black men or have a plank in her newly released platform that addresses specific needs of this crucial voting bloc. Folks, they know what the issues are. They know what it is. We don't have to remind them or tell them 50,000 times. They're telling you, yeah, we know what you all don't like. Yeah, we know what you don't like. We know what the issue is you have with her. We know what she is doing to evade you. Yeah, we know. We're here to tell you it ain't no big deal. You need to just calm yourself down. It ain't no big deal. But they're sitting here conceding and confessing. Yeah, we know exactly what y'all are talking about. Yes, this is exactly what you don't like. Yes, we know. We know. Yeah. They can sit here and tell you, yeah, we know exactly the problem you have with it. Yeah, this is what it is. Without them really going into the details they need to. But they're letting you know, yeah, we see what it is. We see what it is. Quote, we need her to say, black men, here's what I'm willing to do for you. Oh boy, somebody at Politico gonna lose their job for letting that get through. Well, there it is. Folks, they know what we're saying. If you're waiting for the corporate media to finally admit it and break down, you're never really going to get that kind of admission from them until they lose 3 or 4 elections. But folks, if you want it in black and white, this is from Politico. This is yesterday. They're saying what we've been saying the whole time. This is it. This is it. They know it. And they get it. They understand it. We need her to say, black men, here's what I'm willing to do for you. Joe Paul, executive director of Black Men Vote, a voter advocacy group that is working to mobilize voters in Michigan, Wisconsin, and Philadelphia this cycle. He then rattled off a list of issues that could help her reach black male voters, including, oh boy, the need to specify what changes Harris would make to the criminal justice system, that will impact the lives of black men. The biggest change you can make is incarcerating white supremacists, and create opportunities for economic security and build intergenerational wealth. Did y'all notice that the writer of this article set up here and put the criminal justice system first instead of putting this down here first about the money? For everybody else, they put economics first. Every election it's the economy, stupid. They come speak to us and all of a sudden it's, oh, well, you know, they're interested in what we're going to do for felons. So just notice that they play that little game. Quote, we need to hear directly from the candidate because guess what? Neither one of them are speaking to black men. Let's be real, he said. You cannot say we need more black men to vote before you address our issues. Slow clap. Folks, the media gets it. The media knows it. They've known it since day one. They've known it since before I was broadcasting. They've known it since the days of Dr. Claude Anderson. They've known it since the days of Malcolm X. They've always known. Everything is about playing dumb and playing stupid and seeing if they can get us to play stupid along with them, as Dr. Francis Cress Welsing said. They're admitting they know what the issue is. So why is it that they're not demanding Kamala Harris come out and do interviews and discuss what the issue is? Because, yeah, the media is against us too. So remember what I've taught you all. Their job is to acknowledge that racism exists, but don't do anything about it. So that becomes the venting process. Oh, that's real great. Racism exists. What are we going to do about racism? Black people in Mississippi facing racism in 2024. Black people in Michigan facing racism in 2024. The media, CNN, they're real good for doing that. They've been doing this for decades now. They've been doing this since we started the new black media here. And they'll acknowledge the racism exists and then won't say a word about what they're going to do about it. So here they are acknowledging, Kamala Harris is not addressing the issues. She's not addressing black men's issues, which really means black people's issues. There isn't a black men's issues, it's black people's issues. We are the representatives of our people, of the women and the children. It's black people's issues. Well, she's not addressing black people's issues. She's not addressing black people's issues. And the candidate she's struggling to address you. She's struggling not at all. When you're not doing something at all, that doesn't mean you're struggling. That means you're not doing it. When they're not addressing black issues. And then not saying what's going to be done about it. Because remember, if she doesn't make specific promises and put it specifically on the platform, and you still vote for her thinking that the platform will get expanded after she gets elected, which is the brain dead ass lead pipe baby crack baby rationale that so many folks been using for decades, that whatever, if they didn't say it before they got elected, then after they get elected, the campaign platform will continue expanding. The campaign is over when she gets elected. The campaign is over when she gets elected. Harris also has softer support from younger black voters overall, according to both the NAACP and a recent survey from Pew Research Center, a demographic that has also been active in pro-Palestinian protests in the last year. Representative Cori Bush, who lost her primary election this year, said in an interview that she sees a parallel between the protest movements around Black Lives Matter in 2020 and the current pro-Palestinian demonstrations. All right, Cori. The difference last cycle was those activists channeled their support behind Biden. Quote, "We remember how Joe Biden won," Bush said of black voters. "We already had his base, but he also had a grand push from the activists who were on the ground where millions of people stood and pushed and marched. George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and so many others. And then Joe Biden went to work straight against their interests. He tried to get the McMichaels off, remember? They didn't prosecute the cops who killed Breonna Taylor, so what good did it do to support Joe Biden? All the George Floyd folk out there kissing ass and being dumb, getting bent on lean and mollies. By the way, and after supporting him, assuming he was going to do something there, what happened after he did that? Why, he went to work for the people who killed Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery. Attorney General Merrick Garland and his hand-picked bedwench Kristen Clark both have gone to work defending the mother of white supremacy, Carolyn Bryant, shielding her from prosecution until she could die a peaceful death. That's Joe Biden. But don't look for Politico to put that in its proper context or in its proper focus. Don't look for them to say that, because once you say that sentence, at that point you are inexcusable and unforgivable. Why, you can't forgive something like that. So they're not going to put an article out where they say those words, because there isn't any argument against it. And there's no longer an argument to support you once you say it. For Harris, the election may hinge on if she can reconnect the energy she is infusing into the campaign to a turnout operation that rivals past successful Democrat nominees. Quote, "Black voters are well positioned to turn out in historic numbers," Shropshire of Black PAC said, another one of these groups here getting paid off, "but it will not happen without the necessary work, right? Right. It will not happen if we do not increase knocks on doors. It will not happen if we don't increase mail and digital. If we're not countering what the Trump campaign is doing within black communities, then we're going to lose people." So, folks, this is not Jason Black talking. This is Politico talking. This is the white media talking as of yesterday. This is them letting you know they're going over the numbers and the support is soft. Then they're letting you know that they're talking to all these so-called groups who are supposed to be going out to recruit people. And they're confirming, yeah, the task is harder than we thought it would be because the support is soft. And the younger the black people get, the softer the support is. Please understand, though, they're not supporting Trump. It is that they don't support Democrats anymore. It is not so much that they support Trump, they don't support Democrats anymore. The Republican Party, however, will not have a viable alternative if the Republican Party does not divorce itself from white supremacy, which I don't see it doing itself anytime soon. So just like we are fully willing to watch the Democrats go down into flames if they continue campaigning against our interests, Republicans, don't think that you just get an automatic nod because we're not voting Democratic. We will allow your entire party to go into ashes on the funeral pyre of American political history. You can go down in flames with the rest of them. Just because we said we're going to let the Democrats go down, don't sit up here and get it twisted that we're not equally willing to let you go down in flames too. If you cannot get your damn act together, and getting your act together means you come with them tangibles and you come pushing an agenda for us. Or you can watch your failures in 2020. And 2024, and 2028, and every election to come after that until you are no longer a political party. You can do that one too. That one works too. Now what you have is the option of coming over and making a deal while it matters. And also, I want to be very clear here to talk to you all about the young black people. You see, if you're going to go to Howard University, you can talk to the young folk in the student union. You can talk to the student body presidents because those are usually young folk looking to make some things happen, make some things pop off. They're looking to make a deal. Those are the folks you can talk to. You go to talk to the old octogenarians. Look it up. You talk to the 80-plus-year-old crowd and the Roland Martin audience, ever shrinking year after year, corralling around a bunch of pimp pastors and preachers. You can go do that, but just understand they're not making a deal. They're suicidal Negroes. As long as they got their prescription pills. My God, we got real issues coming out here. A bunch of ancient cobweb covered alien artifact, ancient old niggas out here straight from the Egyptian tombs are sitting up here telling you that we don't need, the only tangibles they need is a break on some diabetes medication. What? Saw some old folk talking about Ozempic. Baby, what do you need Ozempic for? You ain't putting on no damn bikini.
And deal with it, nigga.
What is she doing? Got some old elderly folk talking about Ozempic. As if she gonna get beach body ready. Ma'am, if you don't switch to a vegan-based diet, get back to reality, you can't even get on the Carnival cruise ship. The ship rocking back and forth to throw your old ass hips out. What are you talking about? So when you go talk to some young black people, you talk to some practical people. These are people who are practical. Young black folk are sitting there talking about real things that will make real systemic change. Y'all got to understand, the old niggas, far as they're concerned, listen to me carefully. The reason that the old niggas are okay with the status quo is because from their perspective, there's already been tremendous societal change. Do you get that? Far as they're concerned, society has already had tremendous change. They take a look at F.W. Woolworths, and they take a look at all the old department stores and all the old coffee shops they weren't allowed to go into. They walk past the old relics of the old segregated water fountains. As far as they're concerned, they've already gotten their systemic change. Why we can shop anywhere we want to. That's why these niggas love talking about cruises. Because they used to not be able to do that. I want y'all to remember your parents and grandparents, they couldn't go to the public pools or the private ones. They couldn't go to the really swanky stuff like that. So they've been living for that their whole damn lives. So as far as they're concerned, they made it to the promised land. They are finally able to get there. Finally able to make it. At long last, finally able to. So as far as they're concerned, you and me need to dummy the hell up and just roll with it. They're all right where they are. They're not looking for a better day. As far as they're concerned, they already got theirs. And they want you and me to be content with the damn crumbs on the table. And there's where things change and things become different. You see, we've got our own agenda now. And the reason why they are shaking like a leaf and scared as they can be is because the tree is bearing fruit. We planted the seeds over a decade ago, and a decade later, the tree is bearing fruit. And they are telling you what I've always said. I focused on the young. Y'all remember me going on 16, 17 years now. Whenever people would call me up a decade ago and talk about the old folk and how can we convince them, I gave them the same answers today that I gave them back then. I said, don't try to convince them of a damn thing. Focus on the young. Talk to the young people. Those are the ones to speak to. The old niggas just want a peaceful death. Hey, y'all, a decade and a half later, nothing's changed. If we talk to the young folk back then, they've gotten a little bit older. They've got some distance from the old niggas. They've got some perspective. And what do you know? Those numbers are sliding into a different direction. This is not support for Trump. This is support for a black agenda. And when they see the Democrats don't support that, they fall back from it. And that's what you're looking for. They are worried. Understand something, folks. They're not worried that Kamala Harris is going to lose by 10%. That's not going to occur. What they're worried about is 1 or 2 percentage points. Let me remind you again. Joe Biden won in 2020 by 48,000 votes. He won the state of Georgia by 10,000 votes. One more time. Joe Biden won the 2020 election by 48,000 votes. He won the state of Georgia by 10,000 votes. You could take the number of people that he won the election by and put them in an NFL stadium. Yes, they are very worried that 1 or 2 percentage points either way is the margin that will swing this election. It's the one that would have swung 2020, and it's the one that swung 2020, and it's the one that'll swing this one. Yeah, y'all think about that. You got 10% of that number in this room alone right now. If each of you talks to 10 people, yikes. My audience is worldwide and across the United States of America, but if each of you talks to 10 people, paradigm shift. And what I'm saying is they are brutally aware of this reality. We started this conversation over a decade ago because they were trying to tell us that the issue was politics and education. Remember that? They wanted to hand out scholarships. What the hell happened with the scholarships? Now they're telling you, oh, we'll pay off them bogus ass student loans you got. We're not playing that game anymore. Supporting us doesn't mean going to a HBCU. We're not all HBCU grads. Supporting us does not mean giving folks felonies. We're not all felons. Support doesn't mean sitting up here with prescription drugs. We all don't need prescription drugs. But everybody needs economic empowerment.
And deal with it, nigga.
Everybody needs that. If you all agree with that, give me the money bag emoji in the chat room and hit the likes button for me. It's over 5,000 people in here live. But if you agree that we all don't need the scholarship, and we don't all need the prison reform, and we don't all need the prescription drugs, but everybody needs to get that bag. Give me the money bag emoji in the chat room and hit the likes button for me. We have a different agenda. We got a new agenda. We have one that serves our interests, and the politicians are doing everything humanly imaginable to avoid addressing that. And at this point right now, we let them all go down in flames. If we cannot all be equally comfortable, then we will all be equally uncomfortable from here on in. But you're not going to sit up here and you live in a good, lavish life and you dump all the misery off on us. Why is it that we will not support any of them? It's because we've charted out a different agenda. We're not sitting up here looking to politics. We want to control politics, and controlling politics requires control of the economy. We are no longer interested in outsourcing control of that. And we are ready to take the wheel for ourselves. So the conversation needs to stay squarely centered on our economic interests. And from there, we'll create all the other things we need. From there, we'll do that. And that brings me to the next event here. A decade ago, I set out to do something that had never been done before, a documentary that focused on Black economic empowerment and entrepreneurship, answering the critical question about whether or not why Black people are the poorest people in the world and whether or not we could do something about that. That was critical and key. No one was doing it back then. No one's done it since. We're now ready to follow up with the successor to the groundbreaking documentary 7 a.m. So in that vein, I have an announcement to make for here tonight. Before we do that, just a brief reminder.
This is Dame Dash with Jason Black.
Hi, I'm Teddy Riley with Jason Black.
My name is Mahmoud Abdul Rauf.
Hi, I'm Muggsy Bogues with Jason Black.
This is Jada Kiss with Jason Black.
And Black Channel Films.
With Black Channel Films.
And Black Channel Films.
For Black Channel Films.
Brothers and sisters from around the world, I am proud to announce to you all tonight that we have secured the venue in Times Square, named after it. So hopefully you will be joining us in New York, October 19th at the Times Center for an unprecedented documentary film event and the culmination of my life's work and everything we've been doing all this time.
Hi, I'm
Folks out there who are wondering how we got it done, the same way as always, that when you've got the proper funding, when you've got the will, we've always had the will and we've always had the will and the drive. The only thing that has been missing is the capital and the resources. Now, somebody in the chat room named K. Marie, I'm going to go ahead and open up the Zoom. K. Marie is going to have a few minutes here to go ahead and contact me on Zoom, because they asked a question, and I think that that was a very good question for them to ask, so I will give them 3 minutes here to go ahead and get on Zoom for us, and they can ask me that question directly, because we are interactive radio, and we wouldn't want your question to go unanswered at this critical point. Now, for everyone who wishes to join us, and let's just be honest, it's going to be all of you. For everyone who wishes to join us, you can go to our website, 8ammovie.com. Very simple to remember, 8ammovie, the number 8ammovie.com. Go ahead and click on screenings, and from there, you'll be able to go ahead and start purchasing your tickets for New York. Before you even ask it, yes, we are going to have other cities. Those are going to be in the process of getting rolled out this week. So be looking for that there as well. But New York City is going to be the premiere for this. We have always punched above our weight. We have always exceeded expectations, but I decided this time, after a decade, it was critical and key that we take it to a whole new level. So for that reason, I said, you know what? We're going to move this where they can't miss it. We're going to move it where everybody's looking. We're going to move it where everybody there can see exactly what's going on. We're going to put it in the middle of everything. So you're going to have an opportunity to join us for that. It'll be well worth your while. And oh yeah, one more thing. New York City, don't be surprised if I surprise you. Just one more thing for New York City, by the way. Don't be surprised if I surprise you. You never know what's going to go down when you show up at one of our events. So it'll be critical for all of you there to make sure you have that. You are definitely going to want to be a part of what's going on. I look forward to each and every one of you joining us there. We'll also be having it come to other places, but New York is going to be the premiere for it. This is going to be a phenomenal work. I wanted to do a film that addresses this from the top to the bottom. I wanted something that would be timeless. It's not something that just applies to the year 2024. This is going to be from 2024 to infinity. If you are concerned about Black economics, entrepreneurship, being in control of the finances, all those things from reliable sources in these industries that we have had dominance in, and finally somebody asking the real questions and putting it up front and giving you answers that you will be able to rely on and utilize for yourself and your children, your nieces, your nephews. That'll be for you as well. So you're going to want to join us. All the details are on our website, 8ammovie.com. Just go to 8ammovie.com. Click on the screenings button on the website. Just go there and click on where it says screenings, and it'll take you to the links. It has all the information for the tickets. We're going to have some early bird tickets on there first. So for those of you who want to get started immediately, there are going to be some early bird tickets available there. So we got early bird pricing and general admission, whichever one you prefer. It's going to be something. I put a lot of planning into this. I put a lot of work into this. You don't get to come down to that part of the city for a screening like this unless you've got all your I's dotted and your T's crossed. You don't get to do this unless you have proper planning. So be there or be nowhere. I look forward to all of you being a part of this historic effort. It's going to be like nothing you've ever seen before. And believe it or not, we're not done yet. By the way, one more thing. We're not done yet. However, you might disagree. Therefore, the Zoom link is pinned to the top of the chat. And we'll go ahead and open it up here to go ahead and take a few calls in from a few folks here. So definitely you can go ahead and join us for that as well. I want to thank everyone who has contributed for tonight's program on PayPal, Super Chat, Venmo. Thank you very much here to our FBA Queen who's been giving out channel memberships. We appreciate that as well. She's been doing the most about that. My man, Mr. Richburg, thank you very much for your support also. Mr. Prescia and Keenan, thank you very much as well. We're going to go ahead and take a very brief commercial, non-commercial break. When we come back, we'll be talking to you and more. This is the Black Channel.
Are you looking for real financial advice? Thornton Financial is here to help. Certified financial planner Jason Thornton specializes in tax and wealth planning. Are you living paycheck to paycheck with no retirement plan? Do you need help with the IRS? Book your free consultation with Thornton Financial today. Budgeting, savings, debt management, and retirement. Even tax debt settlements. Get the advice you need to live your best life. Book your free consultation appointment today. Go to www.thornton-financial.com.
Hi, I'm Mr. B, and I welcome you to visit my website, mrbtheteacher.com. Explore our site for my latest book, my blog, and podcast that are packed with insightful articles, tips, and strategies to help students navigate the educational journey. Need more help? Check out my education consulting and tutoring services for engaging lessons, downloadable resources, and personalized learning plans. Please join us at MrBeTheTeacher.com today. Thank you all for listening.
Order yours today to experience all the benefits of Ash Kickin' Body Butter. With skin so smooth and soft, you'll thank us for it. Shop Ash Kickin' online. That's ASHKICKIN.com.
Hi, this is Brenda Starr, creator of Poetry with a Purpose and author of the book Pressed But Not Crushed. Pressed But Not Crushed is an anthology of political poems that address current and historical issues in American descendants of slave population and African American population. The book describes slaveries and its residuals, Jim Crow segregation, social depredation, and other relevant issues to American descendants of slaves and African Americans, including the current political climate that does not address our issues.
This is the Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. Very glad, very thrilled, very honored to be with all of you here this evening. As we announced that we are going to be premiering the new documentary film 8 a.m. Times Square in New York at the Times Center. It doesn't get more times than that. Two times. So 8ammovie.com, that's where you can go. You've been waiting for a while. It's long awaited. It's highly anticipated. I can't wait for you to see what's going down with it. I created the Black Channel because I wanted there to be a repository of reliable information, actionable information that I wished had been there when I was 18, 19, 20 years old from reliable folk. Back then, folk talked to these people about what they were doing or their record deals or something. Didn't ask them, by the way, how can I get in the business? How can I run these things? What can you teach me about that? Now you're going to get those insights. 8ammovie.com. I look forward to seeing all of you there. In the meantime, let's go ahead and get the Zoom up here. We got some folk on Zoom. Let me go ahead and get them. Let me go ahead and see if I can start here on Zoom. Is this Brother Elijah over here on Zoom?
Brother, I'm going to turn on the light right now. I'm sorry about that.
All right, Brother Elijah is in the dark, figuratively, if not literally. Okay, what's on your mind?
Hey, big brother.
You wearing a do-rag?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm so glad you got the damn fire alarm fixed. That smoke detector, he finally got that took care of. Hey, y'all, now he wants to invite the females over, so he went ahead and changed out that 9-volt battery. He's ready to mingle. All right, what's on your mind, Elijah?
Brother, excellent broadcast. Before I ask my question, I'm definitely gonna be there at the October 19th event for 8 a.m. I got a question with the tickets. I saw 2 ticket sections, one for the early bird special and the other one for general admission. Which one, or is the early bird special, is it the same thing?
It depends on what you want to pay, sir.
Okay. No.
So you can pay full admission if you want to. That's up to you. But by the way, I just thought I would give folks the option if you want early bird tickets, I do have that available. But if you want to just go ahead and pay general admission, you can do that too, y'all. We got Elijah. Okay, please tell me you had another question, Elijah, besides that one. Please tell me you did. Please tell me that do-rag is not that tight on your head. Please tell me you had another question.
No, big brother. Brother, I got a question with this whole Kamala Harris fiasco. and everything like that. Do you seriously believe this woman still has a chance of winning the election?
She's got more than a chance. She's got more than a chance. Absolutely. As I said,
even after that,
this is Trump's election to lose. And as I told everybody, even before the debate with Biden, Donald Trump has a track record of getting too arrogant, too ridiculous, too silly, and he'll snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. And I warned everyone, don't think the election's over after the debate with Biden. I said Trump has plenty of time to sabotage himself. And he's shown repeatedly previously he will. Well, he's done it again. So this is not so much that Kamala Harris is doing so great. It's that Trump and Vance are Donald Trump had the election won after that debate with Biden. The fact the Democrats panicked the way they did, that election was won after that debate. And I said, the only person who can take it from Trump now is himself. And he literally turned, once he got almost assassinated, and yeah, I know about what happened today too, so folks stop it. But once he almost got assassinated there in Pennsylvania, he had the election won. That just cemented it. It was all the way over. And he turns right around a week later. He chooses an ignoramus who can't do anything for him politically but make matters worse, J.D. Vance.
Yes, sir.
He goes full MAGA when he should have become the candidate of hope and change. Even if you don't believe it, you should be believing that you're going to hope and change things, if for nothing else, to keep your ass out of jail, Donald.
Yes, sir.
But he didn't do it. He can't help himself. He's a dirigible who can't even get out of his own way. So this is a guy who keeps sitting up here tripping over his own feet. That's why Kamala is avoiding interviews, because she knows she'll trip over her feet. And you're really just having a race between who's going to make fewer mistakes. This isn't about who's doing anything right. Neither one of them is. This is about who's going to make bigger mistakes. And right now, he's demonstrating he can make more mistakes and then keep doubling down. He is too undisciplined not to. And not that she's so great. Her just being quiet is showing more discipline than him speaking. So yes, she can very well still win this election. She absolutely can. Absolutely. And at the rate Trump is shooting himself in the foot and reloading, she's not only going to win this election, she'll probably win president and vice president.
Wow. No, because I don't know how much longer this woman can continue, because what happened, the only reason I was asking that question, she's, like you said, she refuses to do interviews. And I was looking back at 2016 along with Mrs. Clinton. At least she was doing interviews and, firing up her base as best as she can and everything like that. And it looked like a believable thing. And I'm trying to make sense. I'm like, are these white women really that serious of letting a woman who's not of their ethnicity get inside that White House before them?
Well, because remember something. We just got to be honest here. Colorism exists because white folk treat light-skinned folk differently. What? Barack Obama wasn't no Tyrese-looking nigga.
Yes, sir.
Come on now.
Yes, sir.
They knew that they could see his genetics. He wasn't threatening. The little light-skinned dude is not threatening. Stephen Curry, nice boy next door. Richard Sherman, thug. So just remember, you got to see this from their perspective. She's not threatening. Hillary Clinton's problem was familiarity breeds contempt. She was a white woman that other white women did not like. She was too polarizing among white women. Barack Obama never polarized white women. White women had an axe to grind with Hillary Clinton. They didn't have any similar axe to grind with Obama, and they don't have a similar axe to grind with Kamala. That's the difference. Now, whether or not there are enough of them is a different matter. But she's not threatening. And they don't see Doug as a negative. She's a little light-skinned chick who wishes she was one of them. Why would you not support her? She wants to be you. She wants to be on your team. You know, take a look at how hard Oprah Winfrey had to kiss white folks' asses until she left hickeys on them. Well, yeah, they're not threatened by that. They know when you are on the team. They know when they own you. So she's not a threat at all.
And then another thing too, with Mr. Trump, going back to what you said, I don't know if he shot himself in the foot with this statement, but he did shoot himself in the foot with this statement. He's bringing back the racial targeting because just a report just came out. The first people he's gonna deport are the people in Springfield, Ohio. I think, quote unquote, Haitian people and everything. And then he's gonna skip past all these Venezuelan gangs, thugs, and everything like that.
Kamala Harris is saying as little as she can and not giving interviews. Trump needs to give 1 million interviews and simply bang on the economy and bang on how Kamala Harris is Joe Biden. That's all he has to do. They ask you any questions about anything else, you say, thank you very much for asking me that. Before I get to that, though, I want to talk about this situation with Kamala Harris. Now she's messed up the border and blown up the economy, and Americans are starving and can't get jobs, and you just keep banging on that. And every time they ask you anything else, oh, thanks for asking me that, right? Oh, you want to know about Haitians? Thank you very much for asking about that. Before I do, though, Kamala Harris blew up that border over there. Inflation is out of damn control. Eggs cost more than Tonka toys. What are we going to do about this? So that's what you're supposed to be doing. Because here's the thing about this right now. You don't need to convince us that he will be deporter-in-chief. You don't have to convince us of that. That shows insecurity. You don't have to choose J.D. Vance. You don't have to convince us of your right-wing credentials. We got it. You need to convince us that you can actually win. So with that being the case, all he has at this point, he doesn't have to tell us that he's going to be chief deporter. Focus on the other things. And at this point right now, all you got to do is be about it. Be about that business. That's all you have to do. Stop talking about it. We got it. Be about it. Stop sitting up here even allowing interviews to be done in that manner and whatnot. Just say, well, hey, if folks are here illegally, we are a nation of laws. And if CNN doesn't like the law, then I think CNN's got a lot of explaining to do. And furthermore, Kamala Harris doesn't like laws either. So you and CNN have something in common, that you both hate laws. And we're going to go ahead and talk about how she's blown up the border and inflation is out of control. And do you see what I just did right there? I'm not getting into some mudslinging contest over Haitians eating folks' dogs and all this old stuff right there. I'm not getting into that because even though it may be happening, the media is just going to sit there and lie. They lie through their teeth about Hunter Biden. They lie through their teeth about police gunning down black folk. That's what they do. They lie. They're going to sit up there and swear up and down they're going to lie. The only thing that's going to stop them is if you file a defamation suit against them, and that they'll have you in court for years over that. And then they'll settle later. So I'm just saying the media lying is just par for the course. Your job is to beat the issues home. Trump was doing great as long as he's banging on the issues. Problem, we can't keep his ass focused, and he's at the top of the ticket. So there's where the Republicans are screwed up at. And they haven't really they don't really have anybody in their party who has demonstrated that they're interested in changing that paradigm. You've got articulate, sensible guys like Josh Hawley. You got guys like Marco Rubio. Okay, here's the problem. We ain't heard from Marco Rubio since 2016. There's the problem. We ain't heard from him since then. That's the problem with him. So he has a hard time convincing me that he's a serious candidate. Ain't heard from you since then. Now, he might be laying low, waiting for Trump to get knocked out in 2024. Okay, but Marco, you supposed to be running the damn shadow campaign. Let me tell y'all how politics is supposed to work. Gavin Newsom doesn't have to fight so hard right now because he's the governor of basically the largest state in the union. Yes, so he doesn't have to fight as hard to do that. But you notice he's keeping his profile kind of high. Okay, he's making sure you don't forget he out there, at least until we start talking about reparations. Now he's hiding under a carpet. What you're supposed to do is if you're running a shadow campaign, you're supposed to make sure you stay relevant, you stay visible. You're supposed to make sure you stay seen. And in Marco's case, I'm just using him for an example. If he were talking to us, that flies below the radar. If he's running around talking to black folk, that flies below the radar. That's not really something that the party's going to get upset and say, hey, you're getting too big for your britches. He's talking to black folks like, he spent a whole lot of time over there. They don't care about what you're talking about. that would go perfectly fine. He would be laying bricks and laying a foundation that when it is time for him to come back, when it is time for him to make his run, he's already familiar among this constituency that you all have had such terrible amount of time getting. That becomes a game changer. But
Yes,
he's not doing that either. So these other folks refusing to do something sensible is what's preventing them from getting any further.
Yes, sir.
So
Hey,
it's not that Kamala's so great. It's just that they're doing such an awful job of it. If or when Trump loses, it will be self-inflicted. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. I don't know who the young lady is who's going over to Elijah's place tonight, but just want you to know he got the waves ready. He got the waves ready for you. So he been waiting there. He gonna have that Michael Cooper playing. So just letting you know, Elijah is ready tonight. It's politics, people. It is politics. And in the political realm, you've got to be able to not just take a look at what happened and what is happening, but to be able to accurately predict where it's going to go. If you miscalculate, if you do it wrong, then you find yourself not just down, you find yourself out. These are self-inflicted wounds that never should have happened in the first place. And let's just be clear. Another thing here is this idea that you're going to get us to vote for the lesser of two evils because we just got to show up for something. No, why don't we go ahead and show you we don't have to show up at all? How about that one? Why don't we show you that we ain't got to show up for nothing at all? How about we show you that we're ready to let both of you go down in flames, that we don't hear either one of you until you start talking our language? How about that one? Folks, we don't do ourselves any favors by showing up to vote, and there ain't a damn thing to vote for. How many of you are really motivated to vote for damn me prescription drugs and student loan debt? What? I want to show of hands in the chat room. Who here is listening to me tonight? I got 5,000 people listening to me here tonight. Who here tonight, the major issue you're concerned about is prescription drugs and student loan debt? That's what you were really looking for. Hey, student loan debt and prescription drugs on the ballot. Jason, we got to get ready for that. I want to know who that is. Give me the hand up emoji in the chat room if that's the issue you've been waiting for. Well, everything's going on out there. So, Jason, you got it wrong. I was really sparking for some student loan debt relief and some getting my medication for the gout and my rheumatoid arthritis. I want to know who in the world you was really tweaking all this time for that. Okay, Michael, you need to give me a call up on Zoom, Michael. Michael, give me a call on Zoom. He says that he's been waiting to hear about that. Okay, Michael needs to give me a call on Zoom. You got 2 minutes. Go ahead and give me a call on Zoom, Michael. I would like to get a full explanation of what it is about your student loan debt that has you dismissing everything. That's the issue for you. If everything else is out there, well, Jason, student loan debt, I know it's hard though, Jason. He be calling me. Okay. Here on Zoom, not really sure who Abel is, but Abel, I need you to go ahead and turn that on for me. All right, Abel, what is on your mind?
Yes, sir. Good evening, Jason Black. I just want to personally say, in regards to your AAM film, I hope that it's basically, it'll come to Minneapolis so we can definitely watch it down there too, because I would definitely heavily support it. As far as tonight's broadcast, as far as I'm concerned, when I was watching the debate, on Tuesday, it was just like what ringed into my mind was that you said before that Trump is capable of basically ruining himself out of victory. And the way that he performed in that debate that night, he basically, to me, he basically screwed himself in the eyes, in the jaws of victory, because when he went out there and just went full MAGA mode, and all he had to do was basically address the issues of inflation, the economy, and then unemployment. All he had to do was basically address those issues and keep banging the drum on it. He would have had this election won right then and there. But basically what I'm saying is that, and again, I want to make sure to the people that I am no supporter of Kamala Harris either. But basically, Trump is literally screwing himself out of victory. And when the election's all said and done, if he loses, it's going to be losing by at least about maybe 10,000, maybe 20,000 votes at best. It's not going to be as landslide loss or landslide victory as many of his supporters think.
I disagree with that part. I disagree with that.
Okay.
I think if he loses by similar margins to 2020 or worse.
Right. Okay.
Because here's the real thing. He's had all this time to build on top of what he had before. And once you start squandering it, yeah, folks are not eager to vote Democrat, but you can make them equally as unenthusiastic about voting for you too. And when you start getting arrogant and start assuming, well, if they don't vote for Kamala, they got to vote for me, that's where you're messing up at. If you think that Robert Kennedy is going to bring all the votes for you, you're wrong. You know, that's what Trump is thinking. You can't look for other folk to win this for you. If Trump loses, it will be because he did not make a compelling enough case for himself, even when he had the election won. He just couldn't stay focused. He couldn't stay disciplined. He got to keep wandering. Once he started winning, he starts getting arrogant and narcissistic. As opposed to, dude, you're winning. Just stay the course. No crazy stuff. Just stay on message. The message keeps... It's like a schizophrenic. Every time you talk, Biden is senile and Trump is schizophrenic. Every time you talk to him, it's a different conversation. And he forgets everything you told him not to say yesterday. He just throws it out the window and he's back to doing it again. And, you know, he kind of reminds me of some janky ass hood rat. You tell them don't do this or don't do that. And then they come back the next day and do it. I guess just to show you that they're going to do whatever they want to do. You know, Vince McMahon said something like that. And by the way, that's rather ominous to compare to Vince McMahon, but it's very reminiscent. Vince said he would rather fail doing it his way than succeed doing it somebody else's. Now, in reality, that's not 100% true because when WCW was at its best, he started imitating them. So he didn't truly believe that, but as a statement of principle, yeah, guys like Trump, you tell them what they can't do, and then, hey, we need to put some holds on you. They're going to come back and try to show you they ain't going to do what you say. Just, I'm Trump. I ain't got to do that. I'd rather fail doing it my way than succeed doing it yours. The problem for Trump is that for him, failing could come with a prison sentence. Now, there's the issue for him. So I'm like, hey, brother, let me tell you something now. I'm too old to be saving people from being self-destructive. If you cannot keep your own mouth shut to keep your own ass out of jail, hey, bro, enjoy this little prison stint. That's all I can tell you. You'll be the richest man behind bars. I'll let you have the last word.
Yep, pretty much. You nailed it right on the head. So, but the only thing I got to say is that it's pure entertainment for me because we pretty much know both of these candidates are not for Black empowerment at all. So at the end of the day, the thing about what we have to understand here is that we have to continue to voice the message that it's either intangibles or no vote. That just is what it is. And if both of these parties are not going to, address those issues, then they can just pretty much die on their own sword.
Well, here's my thing, dude. If they come talk to us, I want you to come talk to me the same way you do the ADL, the same way you do the APAC, the same way you do the Asian Pacific Islanders, the same way you do to the LGBT folk when you show up there. I want you to come talk to me the same way you talk to them. And I just couldn't help but notice when you come talk to us, you sound a hell of a whole lot different than when you talk to them. You talk to them and tell them what you're going to do, how much money you're going to spend, what you're going to give. You come to me and start talking about good times and vibrations. Now, there's where the issue comes in. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me go ahead and see if I can get Muriel up here on Zoom. Go ahead and see if we can get Muriel on Zoom. All right, Muriel, I don't see you there. Okay, now I see you. Okay. All right, Muriel, what's on your mind?
Well, I just wanted to say that I'm not a voter, number one, but I despise Trump for all the many things that he's gotten away with and hadn't had to pay the price. And with Kamala Harris or Donald Trump, I feel like either would do anything for the Black population. That's just how it is. but I don't like the fact that I feel like so many black YouTubers are pushing Trump more to win and downing more of Kamala Harris. I'd rather take the crumbs from the table than to go straight to the cage with Donald Trump. And that's all I have to say.
Okay, Muriel, let me find out something here. How old are you?
70.
Okay, 70 years old.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Muriel, have you ever been married?
Yes.
Okay, are you still married now?
Yes.
Okay, do you have any children?
Yes.
Any grandchildren?
Yes.
Okay, did you work?
Yes.
How long did you work?
All my life until I retired.
There you go. Did you work for the state?
No, I did not.
You worked for a corporate employer? Like a hospital or something?
No, just a corporate business.
Okay, but you were able to work for them until you retired?
Yes.
And you're getting your pension now?
Yes.
Okay, are you happy with it?
Not really.
Okay,
Thank God I saved.
Well, very good. I mean, it's very good. And plus, you're married and everything, so that's all important as well. So it's important to have those things. Muriel, here's the issue that folks are going to have with what you said. You said something that is very, very telling. You literally said that you would be happier and more pleased getting the crumbs from the table. Can you explain one thing to me that I don't understand? How is it the woman lives to be 70 years old and is gleefully bragging that she would happily eat crumbs?
No, what I'm saying is I don't trust either.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, I get that. Yeah, but I'm repeating your words. I'm repeating your words, though. That's important. I'm repeating your words. We have to keep in context.
Yes,
you said, quote, I would rather eat the crumbs than to do the other. And I'm just curious, how does a 70-year-old woman get to a point where she brags that she's in defense of something she would eat crumbs?
Not bragging. You misunderstood.
No, I did not, ma'am. You misunderstood.
Yes, you did.
Why would you even say that you would be okay eating crumbs for any reason?
Number one, I said I'm not voting for either because I know
ma'am,
either
I didn't say you did
anything for the black population.
And then
That's what I said.
And then you said but.
Well, let me say this: if I were voting, I would have a preference with Kamala Harris.
There you go.
Because Trump offers nothing.
Okay, tell me, you said all the stuff that Trump got away with. What did Trump do to you that he got away with?
Lying, deception.
Okay, what did he? How did he lie? How did he lie on you?
I didn't say me.
Okay, but you said that you're okay, ma'am. That's what I asked you, ma'am. Listen, ma'am. You said that you were not supporting Trump because you feel like he's gotten away with so much stuff for so long. And what ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Answer. What did Trump do evil to Muriel?
Listen. Are you
okay, Muriel? Third time, ma'am. I'm respectfully, Muriel, ma'am. I'm respectfully asking, ma'am. I'm respectfully asking the question, ma'am. Ma'am. I'm respectfully asking the question here. You can't dodge the question. What did Trump? If you're gonna call Trump evil, tell me what evil did Trump do to Muriel?
It doesn't have to be with me per se. I'm talking about to the nation. It's to the nation.
Ma'am, I need to know what evil did he do to that affected you? And what evil did he do that affected you? Ma'am, tell me the evil thing that he did that affected Muriel.
Anytime anybody does anything criminal and gets away with it and always horning in on the black and brown people for racist concepts, that's harm to me as a black person.
The black and brown people.
Yes, he's always criticizing and going after the black and brown people. All those Chinese people that cross the border, he has nothing to say. All the African,
ma'am, he said plenty about the Chinese.
Excuse me?
He said plenty about the Chinese, ma'am. Have you been under a rock for the last 8 years? He said plenty about the Chinese.
I'm talking about recent
Yes, ma'am, recently.
men that crossed the border.
Yes, ma'am,
he has
recently.
Nothing to say about them.
Yes, ma'am. They recently just had a Senate hearing about 34,000 Chinese nationals who came across the border illegally. Your friend Kamala Harris's Department of Homeland Security Director Mayorkas explaining the way and defending it. So yeah, they've been talking about it recently.
Well, that's them. I'm talking about me personally, how I feel.
Okay, so why is it you have a problem with the Chinese?
I don't have a problem with the Chinese
You just
coming
said
in.
that.
I don't have a problem with no, I did not. I said Trump has a problem with black and brown people, but not the Chinese, not the Afghanistans that he flew in. That he personally flew in.
Okay, thank you. That Joe Biden flew them in. Why are you not upset with Joe? Why are you not upset with Joe Biden? He's the person you're talking about. Joe Biden is the one who did all that. Why are you not upset about? Wait a minute, Kamala Harris. No, Kamala Harris is the one who's brought in those Chinese folk and the Afghans and the Ukrainians you're talking about.
Trump killed the bill, and Trump killed the bill to make it better.
Ma'am, Kamala Harris is the one bringing them in. Why are you not upset with her?
I'm upset. I just told you I don't trust either.
Then why are you more upset with him than her when she's the one doing all the stuff you talked about, but you're talking about Trump?
Because he hasn't done anything criminal, and he has.
So the stuff you just named was not criminal?
Like what did I name that was not criminal? With
Knocking
Kamala
down the border wall and letting in 20 million illegal aliens is not criminal?
The border is open. We welcome migrants according to the United States of America. We're supposed to. This is a melting pot.
They come
here.
Ma'am, show me the part of the Constitution that says we let in illegal aliens.
What do you call illegal aliens, sir?
Ma'am, if you did not get permission before you crossed
What do you call
if you
illegal
did,
aliens?
ma'am,
I need to
if
know
you,
that
ma'am, be
definition.
quiet. If you did not get permission to come here before you crossed the border, you are here illegally. Just like if somebody enters your house without permission before they walked in, they're a trespasser.
No, sir. You're escaping on that. You're escaping on that. Many people have come here uninvited.
Ma'am, that's illegally. They do not have permission to cross that border, just like I don't have permission to just walk off in your house. You have to invite me in.
Once they come here, they get it. They seek asylum.
Ma'am, but you're here illegal. No, you're supposed to apply for asylum before you get here.
Tell me,
ma'am, you don't know the laws.
Come to the United States.
Ma'am, you don't even know the laws.
Before they came?
Ma'am,
are you serious?
Yes, ma'am. You're supposed to apply for asylum before you get here, ma'am. You don't even know the basic laws, Muriel. You don't even know the basic laws.
I'm not talking about the law, what was broken and not broken. I'm talking about the fact that they've come here
illegally.
They haven't been invited with asylum.
And they're here. You're not supposed to come to somebody's country illegally, Muriel. What part of that do you not understand?
I understand that very well, sir. What I'm trying to tell you is only the black and brown people that they have a problem with.
Okay, Muriel, where are your folk from originally?
Does that matter?
Oh, absolutely it does.
South Carolina.
No, ma'am, you're lying. What part of the Caribbean are they from originally?
Are you going to tell me that I'm lying when I'm telling you the truth?
What part of the Caribbean are they from originally?
I have no idea.
There you go.
There you go. What? That has nothing to do with it. I'm talking about today and the
ma'am, you're literally sitting up here. You said that Trump is wrong for being a criminal, and you're literally sitting up here arguing for criminality out the other side of your mouth. That's only irrational unless you're a person with a criminal agenda.
You are talking just plain rhetoric that has no definition.
You literally said that you're in favor of illegal aliens.
No. I'm sorry.
You're literally sitting up here. You're literally sitting up here supporting illegal aliens. Literally.
I'm telling you what's happening with the facts, whether they're legal or illegal.
Why would you support illegal aliens?
I'm telling you that many migrants have come here uninvited. And they're
committing crimes. They're stealing things. They're sucking up resources. They're supposed to belong to us.
Well, of course they are. Of course they are. Not just the black and brown. All of them are. Even the ones in the United States are committing crimes.
What part of New York are your people originally from?
New York? I never said anything about New York.
No. She's too hard about this black and brown thing. She's stomping a little too hard.
No, because I know who I am. I know who I am. And if
So you're brown? So you're brown.
Talk the way you're talking, sir.
So you're brown. So you're brown is what you're saying.
Of course I am.
Oh, good. Tell us about the brown part.
I am a so-called Black American. So-called.
Okay, what about the brown part, man? That's black. What about the brown?
You got your Hispanics. You got your Indians.
Oh, well, we're talking about you. What part of you is brown?
All of me.
So you have Hispanic lineage?
No, sir, I do not.
Okay, if you need some more meds, you might want to get some psych meds, ma'am. You just said
sir,
you just said you were black and brown.
You can insult all you want to. You are incorrect in your rhetoric, and that's all I have to say.
You just said you were black and brown.
I'm not going to tolerate you. I'm not going to tolerate you.
Folks, all I can say is check out them edges.
When you're trying to be insulting, and let me tell you something else. You can't change my character.
Ma'am, I can't change what you don't. We can't change what you don't have. I mean, it's just I would never try to change what you don't have.
Character. You don't. I have plenty of character.
I want you to tell me about the brown folk who are sticking up for you. Who are the brown people who stand up for you?
The biblical, the Bible, Jesus Christ stands up for me. The Most High stands up for me.
No, I said the brown people. You talking about black and brown people. Who are the brown people who are standing up for you today?
I just told you. Did you not hear it?
Call one of them. Show me one of these brown people who's standing up for you today.
I can't show you one because I can't show you a picture of them.
Okay, then that's your first clue that you're out of options. That's your first clue that you've run out of an argument.
You know what? You have no options of insulting anybody.
That wasn't an insult. I just asked you to show me the brown people, and you just admitted I don't know none.
Do you want me to answer the question that you asked me? Who's standing up for me today?
Is your husband white?
Do you want me to answer? Do you want me to answer that question?
Is your husband white?
You so silly.
Yeah, is your husband white?
You silly. I just told you my people are brown.
I said your husband. I said your husband, silly. Your husband.
I just told you no.
Where is he? I don't believe you.
No, so stop trying to belittle me.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
I'm going to tell you who's standing up for me today. You asked me a question.
I said the brown people. Show me the brown people. No, the brown people.
I don't have any pictures to show you, but I can tell you who's standing up for me
today. I know Nurse Ratched is standing up for you. I'm talking about the brown people standing up for you. Who are the brown people?
You're more ignorant than I ever thought you were. Good night, sir.
Who are the brown? Just show me the brown people standing up for you.
And you compromise.
Why is it that old people are so shameless? Muriel, why are old people so shameless?
Sir,
why is that?
Compromise because I can tell by your rhetoric.
Y'all get old. They get old. Muriel, why is it when y'all get old, y'all start kissing ass so much? Why is it y'all aren't ashamed of that?
You're the one that kisses ass. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Stop your rhetoric.
You just sat here talking about eating. You start off the call talking about eating crumbs.
If you knew who you were, you would stop the nonsense.
I'm the guy who doesn't eat crumbs.
I'm still willing to answer the question. Who stands up for me?
No, ma'am. I want to know about the brown folk who stand up for you, not who stands up for you. The brown people.
That's what I'm willing to answer.
Tell me his name.
Number one, the Bible stands up for me. Number two, the Most High stands up for me. Number three, Jesus Christ, the Messiah, stands up for me. And number four, the prophets of the Most High today in Jesus Christ, the Israelites. And if you knew that, you wouldn't talk the way you're talking. That's who stands up for me. Who stands up for you?
Why is it that once y'all get so old, you're no longer embarrassed? Like, is it something about getting old? Y'all just are no longer embarrassed anymore. You're not embarrassed to say silly things.
You cannot embarrass me. I have lived long enough to have a lot of wisdom, and you are not gonna embarrass me because you can't embarrass me. You cannot.
Oh, I'm certain I
character.
can't embarrass you. I'm certain. It's just the riddling people will have to take care of that. I can't do it.
You are full of it, and that's what y'all do. You try to embarrass people when you get lost through your rhetoric.
Muriel, a slight philosophical question here, Muriel. Do you have proof? Do you have proof that Jesus even likes you? Muriel, do you have any proof of that?
You cannot change my character, sir.
Y'all, her nostrils look like a Muppet.
You cannot change my character.
You look totally mentally unhinged.
Find out who the hell you are, so you can know how to talk to people. Then you will talk differently. I promise you that. Good night.
Folks, do you want to know where the old folk come down on? You want to know why they made no progress?
You cannot embarrass me, sir.
There's the problem is you cannot be, and that's the problem right there. There it is.
Stop trying. You cannot embarrass me. You are embarrassing yourself, number one, because you don't know who you are.
Y'all, she can't even see herself right now talking about we're embarrassing ourselves, not her. Now, this is not embarrassing. This is...
No, it's not.
Big Mama Thornton is not embarrassing. It's just okay. Oh, is that your husband? Was that your husband?
Okay. It's always okay.
Was that your husband?
Always okay.
No, was that your husband? Bring him over here.
Okay.
Bring your husband over here. That was your husband. Tell him I want to talk to him. I don't believe you have a husband. I don't believe you have one. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Show me who married you. I don't believe she got a husband. Bring him over here. I do not believe it. I do not believe it. There was an old dude who was on the phone with another crazy old woman who called me one time. I'm like, oh, hell.
I don't care what you say, sir. You can't embarrass me. You can't change my character.
Oh, Lord, I thought she lost her signal for a moment with that janky-ass 3G.
You cannot change my character. I told you who stands up for me. You haven't addressed that yet.
Folks, if you want to know who the Kamala Harris supporters are, take a look at your screen right now. Jason, y'all need to respect them old folks. Why you be talking bad about them old people? Exhibit A.
Let's go there. Let's go there.
Folks, Exhibit A.
Let's go there. Let's address that, sir. Let's address that. Who stands up for me? You asked me a valid question.
Ma'am,
I gave you a valid answer.
Muriel, do you have any proof that Jesus even likes you? Where's your proof of that?
Like I said, you need to read your Bible.
Okay, are you in the Bible?
Yes.
So you are in the Bible. We can quote you. You're around with Jesus.
I'm sorry?
Where's your proof that Jesus likes you today? Where can I go find proof that he said he likes you?
In the scripture, sir. Read the prophets.
Okay, show me the scripture where Jesus referenced Muriel. Tell me the chapter where he referenced you.
Read
okay, that's why you got to laugh and giggle. There's no proof of it. There you go.
And I told you, read Deuteronomy.
Ma'am, you're not in Deuteronomy.
Have you ever read Deuteronomy?
Yes, and you're not in it. And you're not in it.
Read Deuteronomy. Read Matthew 17:24.
And I want y'all to understand, and here's the problem with these old Negroes. She's talking about the next world. Did y'all get that? We're focused on the here and the now, and she's talking about a peaceful death.
You are so ignorant. The next world is the prophecies of the Bible, you fool.
So why should I care? Why should I care about the next world?
You know what? That's why you're ignorant. You need to go read your Bible, and then you'll find out why.
So I need to worry about the next world, not this one.
You're already in this world. You need to worry about the next world. The next world is in your favor. Go research it.
Ma'am, I thank you so much for calling in tonight and putting that in this context.
And thank you for taking my call. Remember, read your Bible.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Folks, I couldn't have said that better myself. If you want to know the key difference between us and them, she just said it. Yeah, she can spout all that silliness and insanity for all that time because, because she's focused on the next world. R. Bailey in the chat room, you got 2 minutes to go ahead and get on Zoom for me or permanent vacation for you. So you can go ahead and do that. But yeah, hey, y'all, you want to know the folks who do that kind of stuff? You want to know where their mindset is? Jason, how can they talk like that? You heard her get on this phone. She's talking about the next world. As I've told you for decades, she just wants a peaceful death. That's all. She's focused on a peaceful death. She's old, wrinkled up, out of shape. Hips don't work. Ears don't work. Brain don't work. At this point, she just wants a peaceful death. She thinks she's got a magic formula that's going to let her do it all over again. And she doesn't care what you don't get now. You worrying about the here and now. I got mines and y'all need to worry about the next world. Don't be worrying about this one. I'll let that speak for itself. Let me go ahead and get back over here on Zoom right quick. Let me hop it up. See if I can go ahead and get my man Dan up here on Zoom. All right, Dan, I think you may have heard everything that just went down there, brother. Go ahead and unmute yourself. What's on your mind? Yeah, I hear you now. Well, y'all think you just heard what went down, brother, so what's on your mind?
You talking about what, the 70-year-old lady?
Yeah, she told us we need to worry about the next world. So it's just, we worrying about the wrong thing. We worrying about the here and now. We really need to be worrying about the next world. So, all right.
Oh, my God. You know what, brother? Bless her heart. She just like the women in my family who's over the age of 50. They usually start off at 35 if they single moms or if they've been to college, especially if she's a sorority chick, if she's in the religious hoes. You got to watch out for the religious hoes. You know what I'm saying? They turn religion once they horn skills go out of play. But anyway, I want to get to this topic that you was talking on. So I kind of missed the first hour, but I'm just going to say this, though. Now, I think you already know my stance on that already. If y'all ain't offering Black people, specifically us, nothing, then there's no voting. Because truth to be told, we're not getting nothing from either party. Now, we getting some indirectly from Trump, but contrary to popular belief, he don't have a big Black support like that, and I don't think too many Black people. Let me rephrase that. Contrary to popular belief, most Black people ain't supporting Trump. They just know they get some indirectly from Trump. And on the flip side, on the Democratic side, most Black women ain't really supporting Kamala. The only two people that I see support Kamala Harris, the type of Black people that support them, they either over the age of 50. They either one of these sororities or fraternities from college, or they one of these religious bra, or they part of the ABC in the 1, 2, 3 community. It's too many Black folks that's under 50 who got a whole lot of sense. Ain't nobody supporting their party.
Well, like I said, I mean, she was a textbook example of everything I've been talking about now for 2 decades. She confirmed all of that. When I tell y'all, when y'all ask me, Jason, what do I do about my crazy old relatives? That's your old auntie sitting up here talking that vote blue no matter who stuff. That was her right there. And that's why I tell y'all, I do it because I'm hosting a program and I'm making a point. Y'all don't do what you just saw me doing here. I'm doing this because I got an audience. You don't have an audience. You don't have time to waste. When you come across that, you just break that backwards. If they old, they stuck in their ways, you cannot beat I'm waiting on Jesus. I'm voting Democrat because don't worry, Jesus gonna take care of it. You're not dealing with a rational person, and I'm not saying that religion necessarily is the problem. I'm talking about what you're talking about, a person who leans on it as an excuse for foolery that they're doing, especially once they get 70 years old. It's like, yeah, that person is beyond reasoning. They've got an ideology, it's self-serving, and all they want to do is feed that. That's the only thing they're doing. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. We appreciate that. Let me go ahead and see if I can get Ayana here. She tries to call me in all the time and usually can't get through. So let me see what I can do. Okay, Ayana, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Okay, I'm not on camera, am I?
No, you are not on camera. What's on your mind?
Okay. All right. That last call, the lady, that was very cringe. She's the prime example of why generations after her, like her children and their children, why they don't have anything. We are so caught up in, like you said, the what's happening after, that we're not even taking care of what's happening right now, present day. Like, that was very, very cringe and sad to hear how emotional she was. And it was really interesting that I don't even think she comprehended what you were saying when you were saying black and brown. Like, I truly do believe she was from North Carolina. I think she's just one of those old people that those words like minority and black and brown, that's what she subscribes to. She wasn't even coherent enough to understand that there is no such thing as black and brown. You are black and that's it. And yet she's fighting for other people who wouldn't give two what's about her. That was just
I disagree with that sentiment, and I'll explain to you why.
Okay.
I'm going to be as diplomatic about what I'm going to say next as I can be, because I'm really just don't have to be diplomatic at all. I'm just going to be diplomatic about it as I can be, though, here. Dan, who just got off the phone,
yeah,
don't short sell what he said.
No,
because what he was saying was absolutely right. Can I just go ahead and get gully with y'all? When you dealing with these old hoes, did he say hoes? I damn sure did.
And deal with it, nigga.
I want y'all to understand, they used to be young back in the Lola Falana days and the Pam Grier days. Now they're in their 70s. The ride is all the way over. I worked at a corporate job. Okay, that means white men pinching on the ass back in the 70s and the 80s. Mm-hmm. Now, back in the 60s and the 70s. Now she in the 2000s, and ain't nothing smooth on her except her glasses. And what I'm saying is, she's had a whole bunch of experiences that only fans would understand. Mm-hmm. And now she's sitting up here talking to us crazy. So, when they've been run through the ringer and now they're too old to be able to sell it. Kamala Harris is 60. Please remember that. Please remember that. She's only 10 years old. That woman just got off the phone is only 10 years older than Kamala. It's no wonder she identifies with them. No wonder. Right. So I want y'all to understand, I'm not being hyperbolic, and I'm not being exaggerating, and I'm not just saying it because it sounds, really, really entertaining. I mean it seriously that, did you hear what she was saying? When you got somebody riding that hard for folk that she can't even identify, you must be referring to somewhere you've been. Because you're telling me that I don't understand. Heifer, I'm just as grown. I ain't as old, but just as grown as you. I can understand a very logical argument. There must be something you've seen or done that I haven't done. And that, we ain't been in the same place. Well, no, I ain't been up here bedwinching and selling my damn soul. I haven't for a job. I haven't done that. So she did whatever she had to go ahead and get her little funky ass pension. And that's it. Now she wants to sweep the rest of it up under the rug. And oh yes, I'm going to go there. No wonder she wants to ride for Kamala, because Kamala did the same thing.
Right.
So the old hoe vote is sitting up here sticking his head up and whatnot. That's the bad part that begins it. But the worst part that ends it is, by the way, and what's motivating that, y'all, we just hear that she wants us to vote for what's best for her. Not what's best for us. She wants a peaceful death. And that's what she just told you. Everything for her now is Jesus, law. Yes, so she can go to the doctor and whatnot, and they got her a bunch of prescription pills. And she's worried about what's going to happen in the next life, because she's got more years behind her than she does in front of her. And so she wants to sell us on that, as opposed to talking to us about the future we have in front of us. She wants us to focus on the past she got behind her, as if we're all at the same place. That's why she doesn't want to talk about where we are. She wants to talk about where she's at.
Because it's easier to do that. It's like a comfort. Like it's easy to talk about afterwards or afterlife, whatever you want to say, than to stick to what's happening right now in present time, what we're being affected with right now. It's easier to say, oh, you're going to get your, what's the saying? Your road of gold, and it's going to be paved here. It's easier.
Your pie in the sky and your heaven in the hereafter.
Yes. And another thing is, I wish that people stop being so emotional about this election here, and just in general, like, take the feelings off the table about who you don't like personally. It doesn't matter about that. I'm not voting for either party, because either party has not stated tangibly what they're doing for us, for Black people. But even if that, we need to take the emotions out of it. And she was so emotional. And if we could just think logically and just
but
really
they can't.
think about, they can't.
But they can't, because remember, she didn't make a single logical statement, which is what I pointed out during the call.
No.
She's not saying anything logical. Everything's about how I feel. Even when confronted with incontrovertible facts, the things she's upset about are the things that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have done. When that was pointed out to her, yeah, but Trump is a real bad man. So what I'm saying is that you're dealing with the silliness of somebody who's treating politics like a football game. That you like support, you're with the Detroit Lions, so you cheer for the Detroit Lions no matter how stupid they're acting on the field this damn week. So what I'm saying is, when you're dealing with somebody who sees the world in that manner, it's entertaining when we're talking about football. It's dangerous when we're talking about politics.
Right.
Immaturity is amusing when you're talking about sports. It's dangerous when we're talking about political action. And what you just heard there, that was dangerous. A person who is against somebody and supporting somebody and cannot give you any sort of logical reason why. It's just, well, I feel, and I like how I feel. She would be the kind of old heifer sitting up here dancing with Kamala Harris on stage somewhere, talking about that's the reason to vote for her. But then again, she's not worried about the same thing we are. Please remember, Prosecutor Harris wasn't prosecuting that old broad. What? Mm-hmm. That's y'all's problem. These old niggas have no problem. Remember, we did this 4 years ago. Remember, I had a bunch of old niggas call me up 4 years ago with Joe Biden. Remember the one, well, Jason, them niggas, that 3 strikes, tell the truth now, them niggas need to get locked up.
Right.
That was the old folk right there. So they've always supported the prosecutors and the police. When they were telling us to get out the streets for Trayvon Martin, they've always supported them. Because otherwise, you would get what you just got on this phone. That emotional response that you were referring to there, Ayanna. Mm-hmm. Understand something. Her generation is not used to being questioned at all. They're not used to having to justify any of the bull crap they're doing. And if you ever do stop them, that's what you get, because the truth is they were always liars. They were always liars. They were always false. And they've always depended on avoiding being questioned. Mm-hmm. The second you ask a question, they should immediately be able to do what we do, what you and I do. Immediately rattle off logical reasons, facts. Here's the list of the evidence. This is my reasoning for doing so. Them, I got a feeling. And that's how y'all niggas got stuck off in integration and supporting Barack Obama, because you following your damn feelings. And now we ain't got nothing here, and she's sitting over there. She doesn't have much her damn self, but she's happy with, at least I can get blowed on prescription pills on my way to the grave.
Yep.
Why come the rest of y'all can't be happy with that? If you don't get your wrinkled on Aunt Jemima ass up out of here, I'll let you have the last word.
It's sickening. It is sickening. I hope that, people here, or just if they're not listening, or if they are listening and they're undecided, just look at logic. Stop being so emotional. This is not a game. We don't know these people personally. These are not friends shooting the breeze. This is literally, this is life. We need to be thinking logically, and really the most empowerment that we could do is just sit down. It's not a choice of, well, who do I vote for? Just hold it. Just hold on to your power. I just don't get the ideology of we have to do something. We have to go do this because our ancestors gave us the right to. That doesn't even make sense.
You said hold on to your power, but that only applies if you believe the power is with you. If you believe the power is in white society, you got plenty of ass kissing to do.
Oh, well, damn. Okay, you're right.
Well, thank you very much for calling us here. She's looking like Chili from TLC here with, she's fresh back from getting her whites done at Cardi B's orthodontist. So
I'll take that.
She got them pearly whites done. Cardi B's folk gonna be angry with you. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Yeah, she fresh back from Cardi B's orthodontist. Fresh cleaned up them teeth. They gleaming. They are gleaming. Those don't even look like veneers. They look like they just did regular work. Okay, Desiree. I hope Desiree is woken up over there. Don't worry, you won't be on camera, but I do need to see you, Desiree. Why does it look like an acid trip around there? What is y'all doing? What is Desiree doing there? Desiree, unmute yourself. Oh, God. Well, y'all know Muriel couldn't help me find religion, but Desiree did. It's the little microphone emoji, Desiree. She just tapping on the screen, y'all. Just thunk, thunk, thunk. Hey, some of y'all got to replace them iPhone 2s. I know y'all trying to hold on to them screens. Y'all holding on to them screens till they lost their receptivity here. Y'all, she just steady tapping on the screen. Nothing is changing. Desiree, I can't sit here all evening. She is just steady thunking, y'all. Y'all can't see her. She's steady thunking on the screen. It's just, we're going to have to hold another get together, another crowdfunding here so we can get her upgraded from the iPhone 2. She got an iPhone 2. She got a Blueberry. Not a Blackberry, a Blueberry. Next stop, Raspberry. And why does your ceiling look like an acid trip? It's beautiful, but I mean, it looked like something from the Dark Crystal. I don't know who did that. I'd be scared to go up in there. If you've been tripping mushrooms or something, I would be scared to walk in your living room because it's, whoa, wait a minute, I'm spaced out. All right, y'all, she is having the devil's time figuring out how to get the microphone to come on. Oh, she's brought over her niece or somebody. It's another young lady. Here, auntie, let me help you out with that.
Auntie, chill.
She got a niece sitting over there helping her. Well, let me go ahead and give y'all a minute to try to get that straightened out here. Let me see if I can get Daryl up here. Let me see if I can go ahead and get Daryl up here. Daryl, wake up, please. All right, there you go, Daryl. All right, I got Daryl. You better not be Muriel's husband down in the basement. Okay, Daryl, do you have your microphone on, brother? I do not hear you. Oh, he's got earphones on. Take the earphones out, bro. That's probably what's happening here. I can't hear you. Y'all got them iPhones and whatnot with those dongles on. You might want to take those earphones out because I'm not hearing you. And I don't have time to walk you through the settings on Zoom to go ahead and switch that thing up there. Yeah, y'all, this newfangled technology. Okay, Daryl, I can give out another half a minute here, but I don't know what's going on, bro. Like I say, it's just your inputs are probably not correct in that regard. You might want to put it on speaker. Sometimes that helps. Some of these folks here are new to Zoom. Others of them are new to smartphones. Some of them are new to non-smartphones here. So, Daryl, I hope you and Desiree get together and get that worked out, man. Okay, let me put Daryl back in the waiting room here. Daryl is trying to get his life together there. So I hope Daryl and Desiree need to. Daryl, come out the basement up there and come see Desiree. See if y'all can get that worked out. All right, Joyce is connecting her audio. All right, Joyce, do you got your do-rag on too? Oh, y'all. Joyce looking like Aunt Esther with a do-rag on. I'm like, oh, don't mess with her. She look like one of them old, like them Chicago OG females. Oh, Joyce look like she is OG Chicago. I mean, straight Southside grandma. She looks like straight Southside granny. Walk up in her front yard, she got the business for you. She lets you go to sleep with a pit bull by the bed. It says she is connecting her audio. This is scary. Oh, we're going to put Desiree and Daryl and Joyce on the same end here. The old folks is trying to connect to me tonight, and it's not happening. Oh, and she got her George Jetson earphones on, too. Could them things be any bigger? I mean, big, thick cushions on them. She's got big, thick cushions on them earphones. What did she say? The rest of them, they hurt my earlobes. Maybe hurt my earlobes. All right, Joyce, I don't know what's going on there. It just says it just keeps connecting. Let me find somebody else here. Juan Hill. I hope it's not San Juan Hill. Let me see if I can get you. Juan Hill is next up. Let me see if I can get Juan Hill up here. Juan Hill, go ahead and turn your camera and your microphone on for me here. We won't put you up on Front Street, but I do need to make sure we can see who we're talking to so we don't have any trolling issues. Let me give Sam another. I said Juan. I'm talking about Sam Hill. Juan Hill. Juan, you got 5 seconds here to go ahead and get that straightened out for me. I hear something, but I don't see anything on the screen at all. So I'm not sure if folks are trying to do something here, but otherwise you're going to have to leave. So 5 seconds, and then we're going to do something a little bit different. All right, Juan, 2 seconds, then we're going to do something different. All right, Juan was not able to get his technical difficulties figured out. I don't know what's going on here now. I'm going to see if I can try one more. If one more doesn't work, I guess they're just snake bit. Let me go ahead and get Preston up here. Okay, Preston, turn the light on for me, Preston. I'm not sure if you auditioned for Wu-Tang Clan. There you go. All right, Preston, what's on your mind?
Nothing much, Jason. I was just sitting here listening to the broadcast, and the caller that you had a little bit before, the older lady, man, it was crazy. I just had a conversation with my mother, just giving her the facts on Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. Honestly, I don't support either one of them, but it's just something about the old niggas that just kind of trigger me a little bit, because you can present them with all the facts, you can present them with all the evidence to help them make an informed decision, and they just choose to do the opposite for some reason.
But brother, look here though. I explained it to y'all before she even got on the phone. I'm trying to tell you, I wasn't guessing my way through this. I say this all the time. What you just heard, what she got in the 60s, that's all she's concerned about. She got her integration. She can go shop at Walmart without getting her ass whooped. That's it. This is it. And then she like, and now the white folks gonna throw prescription drugs on top of it? Baby, we is in heavens. So just like you being a young person who's out here in the world, you taking risks, you trying to build something, you're trying to have a better tomorrow. She doesn't want a better tomorrow, dude. She just wants the same one until swing low, sweet chariot. I'm not joking. She literally sat here on the phone and is telling you what she's fixating on is the next world. Donald Trump is talking about conquering this one. The old niggas is talking about the next world. That's literally what it is. Y'all have to understand, their goals are completely opposed to yours. You talking about making a better life here. She talking about, I ain't worried about a better life here. I've already had mine. And you all want more than me? Damn y'all young niggas. You need to worry about Jesus. And that's literally what it is.
That's the part that kills me though, brother Jason. I'm just sitting here like, I asked my mother, I'm like, what policy does Kamala Harris have that it just has you so up in arms? And you know what she told me was, well, God told me to vote for her. And I'm like,
how you gonna beat that? Tell me, how do you argue your way out of, well, God told me do it. Ma'am, can you present me with any evidence that was God talking to you and not them drugs you own? Do not blaspheme the Lord, brother. I mean, how do you beat that one? God told me. That's why I told Muriel, show me your proof that Jesus said anything to you. Show me your proof that Jesus even likes you in the book of Deuteronomy. Okay, brother. I mean, you've heard it right there. You heard it all.
And brother Jason, I'm only age 26. I'm over here in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm trying to buy a home, and I'm telling my mother, I'm like, look, the Inflation Reduction Act, like she could have voted on this. All these things she could have voted on, and she's in power right now. She could make something happen. Like Trump said the other night, go wake this man up from his 4 p.m. nap so he could come in and, make something happen.
You tried that, and what you did was you smacked into her cognitive dissonance head on like a bug onto a windshield at 90 miles an hour. This isn't a matter of having facts or not having facts. This is a matter of these folk, as far as they're concerned, the old niggas got theirs. They were out there in the Nicky Barnes disco era, snorting coke, wearing bell bottoms, getting Cadillacs, and retiring from their plant jobs that white folk integrated for them back in the 60s. Far as they're concerned, that's it. Finito. We done. If the kids are raised, damn y'all, Tom Joyner Morning Cruise, here we come. And you young niggas are on your own. And anything that I didn't do for you, which is everything, well, don't worry, Jesus will provide. They're literally sitting up here telling you Jesus will provide for you in Vegas, one of the most outrageously overpriced real estate markets on the planet. You're dealing with this walking into the situation, and she's sitting up here worrying about herself. I need y'all to understand, I'm not being hyperbolic. I'm not exaggerating. This is what it is. The old niggas have checked out. Right now, their crowning achievements are little symbolic things. That's why Barack Obama come to their church, because the only place they can't get to the dance club anymore because they can't make it. Their walkers won't let them get out there and cut a rug. Obama showing up at their church, that's the highlight of their lives. Kamala Harris showing up and dancing in their Chuck Taylors, that's the highlight of their year. Brother, you can't. How do you reason with somebody who sees Kamala Harris dancing at their church as a life goal?
And that's the problem with these old niggas. Like you said, it's just the symbolic gestures. It's these little trinkets of like, hey, we acknowledge you. But I'm like, in the past 60 years, my mother, I literally sat back and told her, I'm like, because my mother was on Section 8, I'm like, you literally saw these people try to rip families apart. They wouldn't let my father into the Section 8 because he's a male. So I'm like, these are the policies under the Democrat Party that you want to vote more for. And you don't really see that it's actually putting you more at a detriment. You're not benefiting from anything. And the last question I asked her was like, have you seen legitimate change, tangibles in your lifetime that you can say that actually changed your life?
Yes.
My father, he works for the city of Memphis. He works 2 jobs and has been working this entire time. And I let her know, I'm like, look, you have immigrants coming in, they're receiving houses, rent paid up for 2 years. They're getting all this money over you who was scratched and toiled for years to get where you are, to be able to take a simple vacation out here to see your son. And you want to vote for more of this?
Yeah, because here's the thing. He's not competing against the illegals. That's your problem. So you see, you're given a frame of reference that he can't even identify with. He got to enjoy all the good old days, and they empowered the Kamala Harrises to sit up here and disempower you. So all the stuff you're talking about, that's your struggle. He's like, ooh, that really sucks to be you. And that's exactly the perspective they have of it. So no, they don't have a problem with it. Did anything change this lifetime? Hell yeah, it did. They got desegregation. They got integration. They didn't get their asses whooped going to the dollar store to go shop anymore. What do they tell you? You can buy a cell phone and tennis shoes. That's your proof that America is better now. So you don't have the means to reason against that. Y'all better just wake up, recognize what it is. Anybody telling y'all about respecting the old niggas, smack them in their damn mouths and whatnot, they are against you, period, point blank. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. We appreciate that. Let me go ahead and see if I can get iPhone up here. Let me see. There you go. Waiting for iPhone to get their audio connected. Hopefully they're not on that Rwandan broadband. All right. iPhone there. What's your name?
Oh, this is Timmy. How are you?
Timmy. Well, all right. Well, see you in living color. All right, Timmy. What's on your mind?
Okay. So I just want to quickly, I'm going to be quick. Most of these, young people, they sound like the story that they told me, they sound like my parents. The same similar situation when I talk to my parents. Anybody who feels like that Kamala Harris should be a president, they're more than wicked, because I've done intensive research on this woman. First of all, she involved herself in a criminal case where it involved like a federal kidnapping of a child, where she illegally took a child away from his father that he had custody of, and that child was trafficked for 7 years because of her. Listen to me. Because of her, she was the one she used federal and state money to have a child removed illegally from a father. That's one. Number two, she was involved in a hit and run. There was a woman, and I can send you this proof. If you give me your email, I will send you all this proof that I'm talking. This is not like garbage. I'm not making this shit up. Honestly, she hit and run a woman. There was a woman, she was walking with somewhere with her mother. I guess I'm not sure what happened with Kamala. Maybe she may have been doing drugs. She hit a woman. She stepped out of her car. The woman told us her story. She stepped out of the car, looked at the woman. I guess she got scared, went back into her car and rolled off. Her mother saw her. The woman saw her face, recognized her face, because at the time, I believe she was still like a prosecutor at the time. When she was in the hospital, they had policemen come to the hospital and warn her not to make this public. They basically threatened her life to keep her mouth shut. And if you want me to, I swear to my God, I can send you this proof if you want it. And
I mean, look, them folk been doing that there for decades. If you are Willie Brown's side chick, hell yeah, they'll knock your ass off if you start snitching on her. So hell yeah, I mean, that's the kind of gangsterism they got. Black folk getting beat up by the police and gunned down. We ain't got no gangsterism for that. Willie Brown side chick, oh, don't worry. We can murk your ass. We can disappear your ass. We can do anything to you. So absolutely. This is what it means to be in politics today.
Listen, I told my dad about the story. I was trying to send it to him. He completely ignored it, because I think, here's the thing. These people have a guilty, I don't know.
No, it is not, no. Timmy. Listen to me, folks. White supremacy is a religion. So is clooning. Damn.
Oh, I believe you.
White supremacy is a religion. We all know that, but guess what? Cooning is a religion too. And when you bring them incontrovertible evidence that refutes their religious belief, what they're going to show you is, yeah, my belief is not based on facts. My belief is based on my ideology, which is in my best interest. So you're talking to, at that point, the conversation completely deteriorates. You're going to keep talking facts to a person who is simply going to be talking their feelings and their emotions. So that's why reasoning goes out the window. You're not reasoning with this person anymore. They heard what you said. What you said is in conflict with what they believe. And belief does not require proof. It simply requires the desire to believe. I'll let you have the last word.
Okay, this is actually more of a request because the situation with the child trafficking really bothered me. I don't know if you like if I can request for you to like do like some research or do a commentary on it, because I think it's kind of fucked up. The guy is actually trying to look for justice. There were quite a few people involved. His story is quite amazing. If I could send you the story, would you be willing to do something on it?
I mean, I can take a look at it there, but ma'am, there's plenty of stories out there about Kamala like that. That's not news. Folk who've been locked up wrongfully and whatnot. I posted on my YouTube page about that. So there's all sorts of things out there about that. It's not a matter of, quote, exposing it. That's not the issue. The issue is, who cares about it? There's the problem. It's not a matter of, if we uncover this, if we find this, if we promote this. There's plenty more out there. Who are the people who want to hear it? Because the folks who support her, baby, you could show Kamala Harris sitting up here cooking up an infant on a hot spit, and they'll sit up there and be voting for her. And I meant what I just said. I mean that.
That's demonic. Well, this land has an evil spirit, and like honestly, if we go into war, I don't even care if they destroy this place anymore.
Well, I'm a bit partial to the land because I'm on it, but I can definitely understand your sentiments. So thank you very much for giving us a call here. Yes, I don't care if they blow the whole place up. I kind of do because I'm here. So when I leave, okay, blow this whole damn son of a gun up. But in the meantime, wait a minute, don't blow it up just yet. Let me get up out of here first. Let me get up off of it first. Then you can bombs away. Let me just get all my stuff about to here first. All right, here. I'm going to give a minute here. I got Brandon on the line here. Brandon, I just need your camera on for me here and your microphone on for me. I'll give you 5 seconds for that. We're going to have to try to move kind of quick here because I've got to get back to editing. But I'll give you 5 seconds to go ahead and do that, Brandon. I don't see anything.
I'm kind of in the dark still, man. Though, so I'm in the black. I'm driving my semi, man.
Okay, Brandon, I got you. At least you got your camera on here. What's on your mind?
Okay, then, man. Yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and call in and say, man, that most definitely I appreciate you, man, for dropping this, dropping the knowledge, man, that you've been dropping tonight, though. And you are absolutely 110% right about everything you're saying regarding a lot of these older folks, though, man, and voting for Democrats. But you know what I really just have had to come to the realization of is that we cannot let anybody fool us right now with these Democrats voting for Kamala or any of these Democrats right now. Everybody knows and is well aware of why they are voting for Kamala. The reality is the reason in which they're telling you, the reason for which they're doing it is so embarrassing to them that they would not want to really just say what it is. Some of these people are out here just want to vote for selling us out and don't care if we don't get anything just because they want more health benefits for themselves, more pain medication, more backache medication for these old folks. They're doing it. Some of these people are out here doing it for LGBT reasons. Some of these people are out here just doing it for just selling us on out. And I'm saying us as black folks, they're really just selling us on out for embarrassing things. I know I was just talking to my mother the other day about voting, about who we're going to go ahead and vote for. And She tried to go ahead and spill off on Trump using the Trump. He got all the charges. He got all the charges. But I understood. Why she was really doing. I know the real reason. She got that. What was that? That student debt cancellation. She got her school debt canceled, and I know that that's the only reason why she would keep going for it, because she went through hell. The whole house went through hell during COVID when everything shot on up. She was like, "Though I can't believe." She was proud, and she had voted for Kamala Harris. I mean, for Joe Biden when he first got in office, though. But when everything started going to hell, she was sick. Had to call me to borrow money, and I had to call me to borrow money, had to help me pay some of her medical bills and this and that. And they just couldn't believe it. Said, I would never go ahead and do this again, son. You were right. But the minute they got that she got that student debt canceled on off.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm Democrat.
Like a dope fiend hit back at the drug house. Just as soon as you get their boot off of their necks, just a little bit, not even all the way, just a little bit, then here they go. Now, here's another thing right here. You're talking about student loan debt. How old was she when they got rid of that?
Oh, see, my mom's though, she's about 51 right now.
Damn! Brother, what the hell is a 51-year-old woman going to do with student loan debt gone? That's not even affecting her credit anymore. What's she going to do? What is she going to do with somebody getting rid of her student loan debt? What's that? What? How is that a game changer? What is her student loan debt preventing her from being able to do?
Not a damn thing. Exactly what you just said. Not a damn thing. She don't even use the goddamn degree. Damn thing ain't even work. Damn thing ain't even work. 2 damn fly smash. Nothing got better. Nothing changed. Absolutely nothing. Just that dick gone. I could have just said, you could have just told them just to kiss your ass, those dudes, and just make the little minimum payments, though, just so your credit kind of would stay on up, though. But whatever.
Brother, you and me buy commercial vehicles. What the hell is a 10-year-old, 20-year-old student loan debt going to do your credit? Nothing. Nobody cares about that. But what that does tell you is it has symbolic significance. It's symbolic, or either that or she just never got her finances together. So the student loan debt is actually illustrative of a bigger problem. And so she's really just putting her focus on that. It's like, okay, you ain't never really got none of your finances together. The student loan is just one among many. So at this point in her life right there, it just really shows you that things are symbolic, things are emotional, and they're not really trying to build nothing. And there's where we run into trouble. Folks who are trying to build something, running headlong into people who are done building, either because they old, they stupid, they're irresponsible, for any number of reasons. And then now they sit next to us and they want us to settle for what they got. There's where the disconnect comes in. I'll let you have the last word.
You are absolutely right, though, man. These people, we cannot. And you know what? I just feel like this. I finally, for us right now, the people are building. I have never felt more like almost related to what the slaves had to go through back in the 1800s, back in the damn day. At some point, we are realizing the people that we gonna have to leave behind. That's what we're realizing now. This election to me is really just showing us the people that we are going to have to leave behind. They do not have any good reasoning. These are not logical people. These are not sensible people. These are people that are just stuck for whatever reason they want to be on that damn plantation, and they're firm about it. They know what's beyond there. They know we have an escape route. They know we can leave, and they don't want to do it.
Brother, so it's the same thing it's always been, as I've told y'all now for decades. Everybody knows what's going on. Everyone knows racism exists. Everyone knows who is behind it. Everyone knows the culprits. Everybody knows the Democrats and the Republicans are no different. Then, Jason, what's the issue? The same one it's always been. There are those who recognize racism and fight it. And then there are those who recognize racism and they turn back around and go back to picking the cotton. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Same thing it's always been. They just turned around and went right back to picking the cotton. That's all. That's all. They heard what y'all said. They see the same thing we saw, like that old Bat Muriel. She saw the same damn thing. She lied, back to picking the cotton. Because she hasn't really been held accountable for her lack of rationality and her lack of results. So back to picking the cotton. All right, MB, give you 5 seconds here. All right, brother, what's on your mind?
Hey, big bro, Jason. This is a great broadcast, man. The old head took me out, man. I lost some brain cells listening to her, man. I know I got some old kinfolk as well, but that was telling right there, man. So one thing that kind of keeps them focused is to not be an emotional shill about wherever side you go on. And me personally, I guess over the past few days after deciding that not Kamala and Trump is not for me, and hearing the emotional shills in the Breakfast Club going at Jill Stein, and I'm like, she kind of speaks on reparations. No, she actually speaks on reparations as far as for descendants of slaves. I might lean away from Couch 2024 to her, but even then, I'm not going to be like the Bernie bro about it. Know what I mean, at
Yeah,
least
there's my whole thing about it there. If you want to vote for Jill Stein, I'm not saying to her. Not I don't want folk coming here trying to promote that. But so folks, I mean, she's been running forever here and whatnot. So just don't be spamming on my page. If you want to vote for Jill Stein, knock yourself out. If you want to vote for Cornell West, I don't know why the hell you would unless you're brain damaged. But if you're going to do that, go ahead and do that. I don't care who the hell you vote for in that regard. If it makes you feel better. But just by the way, just understand what you're actually getting and don't try to sell me on something that it isn't. That's all I'm saying. You vote for her if you want to, but don't come to me trying to sell it for something it's not.
Yeah, I guess my thing is, and I guess my question is, much as I kind of like her enough to consider voting for her, it also gives me the kind of little vibes as Bernie as far as, okay, at least voting for her is more of a protest vote more than, or I really want to see her. At least it's a protest vote because at least she speaks on it. At least when the Dems I am I'm in Philly, so we are in a swing state, so that would send a message out to say, hey, that's a vote. I wasn't voting for y'all anyway, but had y'all spoke on what she spoke on, at least I would have considered y'all, but y'all ain't talking about no
here's the issue for Jill Stein, Ralph Nader, and the rest of those people like that. In politics, rightly or wrongly, you can like it, you can not like it. Joe Biden is an anomaly. He ran for president, 3 or 4 times before he finally got it. In politics, generally speaking, you're damaged goods when you lose an election like that. And once you lose 2 of them, you're a damaged brand. You're a dead, damaged brand. This is not a commentary on Jill Stein as a person or a human being. This is on Jill Stein as a political movement and a political party. You can't keep having a damaged brand that is associated with not winning and still remain viable. That has nothing to do with whether or not folk like you. It's like I don't care how much you like your best friend. If you sit up here and he keeps trying to get his mixtape to sell, and he only sells 5 or 6 copies. It's like, dude, your name has become synonymous with 5 or 6 copies. There's the issue for Jill Stein. She would be a lot better off putting her support behind somebody else, rightly or wrongly. The folks are just not getting with you. And whatever you're doing isn't working. You've got folk who are paying attention, but it's not getting to the next level. Why are you so opposed to backing somebody else who actually can get there? Or at least has a better chance of getting there than you do? Because Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, was taking a task about that. And Jill Stein called out Alexandria. And Alexandria's like, Alexandria was talking about Jill Stein. And, she was talking about, she's run for a bunch of elective offices, not just president. Jill's run for a number of offices and hasn't won. So there's another issue going on here. And does Jill Stein want change, or does Jill Stein want to be elected? Now, those are the questions you really have to ask. The new black media, we are different. We can talk in you all's best interest about politics because I'm not trying to be elected. I'm not trying to get you to vote for me. I'm not trying to figure out how to maneuver y'all onto my party and my platform. I ain't doing no goofy ass garbage like that. I'm not trying to do that. Somebody else, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to stand in their way. You ask me what I think, I'll tell you what I think. But I was like, I'm not standing in anybody's way. And right now, folks really need to ask themselves the question. Does Jill Stein want to change American politics, or does Jill Stein just want to get elected? And right now, after the last decade or so of her track record, I think it's pretty clear which one we're looking at. at some point you're gonna have to make a logical, rational decision. And this is not a commentary on her as a person. For whatever reason, she's not able to close the deal. For whatever the reason is. Now, do we stay emotionally married to her, or do we find a horse that is built to run and can win? Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get Michael up here on Zoom. And like I say, some of y'all out there, and Bernie Sanders was already in office when he tried to run for president. There's a lot you can learn otherwise from that. So if Jill really wants to get folks' attention, best thing, I think right now she would be better served for the Green Party or whatever, getting a candidate who's charismatic and she backs them so they're not starting from zero. Okay, Michael, I hope you got your audio connected while you're looking to the side.
Well, look, I'm trying. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay, that's good. Hey, I just wanted to say I think it's a consensus. Almost every male caller that's called into your broadcast today has talked to their boomer parents, and all of our boomer parents have the same ideology when it comes to politics, and I think it's a damn shame. I don't know what happened to them, but it's a lost cause. And
Brother, I'm telling y'all what happened to them. Y'all don't remember the Jackie Wilson era of segregation and the places they couldn't go and couldn't get in the swimming pools and whatnot. They do. They got what they wanted. Now they can go to the sock hop on the white side of the town. Now they can go to the white side of town and shop at their grocery stores. Now they can go to the white side of town and they can go to the Mercedes dealership now without getting their head busted open. That's what they were voting for. They got it. They got it decades ago, which is why they say vote blue no matter who, because they just want to maintain what they got. They're not trying to do what we trying to do and go to the next level. They just want to maintain what Muriel said. She's happy licking up the crumbs. I'm so glad she just came out and said it. I'd rather lick the crumbs. Well, here's the difference. How many of you want to lick the crumbs and how many of you want the whole damn loaf? I'll let you have the last word.
Well, it's such a short-sighted view, because the people from the dominant society don't just think about themselves. But I want to leave you with this. I was listening to an interview on Fox today with the governor of Ohio, Mike DeWine, and he was talking about, he has a organization, a partnership with Haiti. And basically he was saying that Haiti, along with 15 other countries, have some kind of fast tracking system with the Biden administration that they're just letting these people in. That's why 20,000 people just flooded in to Springfield, Ohio. He's saying that the administration is not really helping them organize those people. They don't really have a plan. They're just letting.
Okay, let me tell you something here. Mike DeWine is a damn liar.
Okay.
Mike DeWine and the rest of these Republicans here, the Republicans on the flip side of this, brother, let's be very, very clear about something. Them Haitians are showing up there and CNN and the rest of them done let the damn cat out the bag. They're going there and they working for some of these folk here in agribusiness and whatnot. Hey, governor, you have laws against that kind of thing. Why are you not going to them white men's farms? What? Why are you not going to those white men's businesses? Damn. And doing to them what you did to the black drug entrepreneurs like Rick Ross and Nicky Barnes and Frank Lucas? Because if it was black folk with a whole bunch of places of illegals working for us, they would have been shut us down, seized our equipment, seized our land, seized our bank accounts. They would have been done that. You and me would never be able to get folk. We wouldn't be able to get 20 people in this country, much less 20,000 in one place. No, the laws are already on the books, people. The laws are already on the books. They just up here and play this game where they pretend to be against it. They've been asset forfeiting us. We got cases, dozens of cases in front of the Supreme Court now about asset forfeiture. You come through, you got a bag of weed, they snatching your house and all your cars. These white men have hundreds of illegals working for them, and the police sitting there escorting them to the damn site. Standing by them, walking by them. No, brother, don't let the damn governor fool you. If he went and arrested those men and confiscated their land, do you think the Haitians would be there tomorrow?
Definitely not.
There it is. North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Ohio, West Virginia, Virginia. I've been to them. I've seen them all them damn places. It's the same damn thing. On down to the deep South, Mississippi, Louisiana. Brother, these Republicans talk a good ass game. But the bottom line is the law already says you're supposed to go seize their land. You're supposed to go seize their land, their equipment, you know, what you do to the drug dealers. You supposed to have been did that to them, but they're not. Well, what does that, even in Florida? So what does that tell you? This is all a con game. It's all a con game.
Jason, could it be? I have heard this. I've heard that we are almost insolvent on Social Security. And the word is it takes 3 workers, 3 taxpayers to pay one person's bill on Social Security. So could it be that we need the United States government needs more workers to fund to pay for the people on Social Security, and they're just not they're not being truthful with the people? Could that be it?
Well, yes and no. Remember when Mr. Townsend and Roosevelt and them put through for Social Security and all that stuff there? Social Security is really supposed to only last about 5 to 7 years of your life. So it's really only be a few years and then you're done. So really, in reality, the age for Social Security, if it had kept up with this original intent, would be somewhere around 70 or 72 before you could draw. Which you can say, oh, that's outrageous. Well, no, that's what it's supposed to be. So if with its corruption, because it became a popular program, and so politicians started using it to get elected, which is really just passing on debt because these are promises you can't keep. They're passing it on to the children. It used to be that the old folks sacrificed for the next generation. Now the old folks expect the next generation to sacrifice for them. So what you are saying is correct. To keep Social Security solvent at its current levels, with the current metrics in place, you have to bring in more people. And since they're encouraging you to abort all your kids, they want to bring in a bunch of illegals whose worldview about the politicians here is radically different from ours. They're grateful to the politicians here. We see them for the scumbags they are. They're grateful because, okay, well, somebody going to let me stand here. So there's that comes from. So you're absolutely right about that. The corporations want it because they want more workers, whether it's software engineers or bean pickers. They want more workers, and they don't want to pay us what they're supposed to give us. So the government is allowing them to circumvent the wage laws. That's what happens when you don't go arrest them. The federal government and the state government are doing the Kyle Rittenhouse and allowing them to, the white men who run those businesses, they're getting an exemption from the law. You and me could never pay enough money to get that kind of exemption from the law, but they have it. So as far as Social Security is concerned, really what it gets to is they want enough people to keep the economy where it is. Please remember, Apple doesn't care where the person earned their dollar. As long as you're buying an iPhone and keeping them the biggest, richest company on the planet. Amazon does not care where you came from. Just go take a look at their Amazon fulfillment centers. As long as the economy stays at the size it is so that Jeff Bezos can go off and go serenade Venezuelan side chicks. No, I'm serious. Jeff Bezos, remember, was cheating on his damn wife. If that cornball ass dude didn't have $1 billion, do you think that a Venezuelan woman looking like that would have given him the time of day? Just keep it real. If that screwball ass, cue ball ass, noodle neck nerd didn't have $50 billion, would he be able to get a female like that to acknowledge his existence? Hell no.
Right.
He gave up his wife and every damn thing else though. So just understand they're willing to sell us out for a minute here, bro. They got their billions and they're going to just try to live it up, and they want the economy to remain where it is so that they can remain stable. Now, let me go ahead and I'm very glad you asked this because this gives me an opportunity to put this in its proper context, because a lot of y'all think these guys are filthy rich in the manner that they're actually not. Please remember every time y'all hear that Jeff Bezos is worth 50 billion, Elon Musk worth 50 billion, remember the majority of that is actually from stocks. Remember that. That's how they circumvented having to pay income taxes. So they get their compensation in stock. And then as long as it's not in kind, you all can go look up the difference there. As long as it's not in kind, then it won't be counted against them as income. So what they do is they get the stock and then they go off and go get a collateralized securities-backed loan. Then they go buy their yachts and go buy their mansions because loans are not income. So they use their stocks, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Larry Ellison, Warren Buffett, we can go down the list. They go use their stocks, they go get a loan, and that's what they live on. Now, the majority of their worth is still tied up in the stocks. So that becomes problematic because at some point the bill comes due. In Elon Musk's case, he just wants the company to issue him more stocks. That's what he's trying to get them to do now is, well, just make more stocks for me. So essentially, you're getting paid in stock now. Jeff Bezos is no longer in the company's capacity like it was before, but it's the same thing for him. What I'm saying is they want the economy to stay where it's at. They need more Americans. They need more folk buying. They don't give a damn where you came from, because if the economy begins to contract because of population size, then their net worth is going to go down with it. The value of their stock goes down with it. Jason, how quickly? That can happen to them really within 36 months. But definitely over the course of 10 years, you would see their stock values plummet if the economy contracts. Because, as we get older, we don't go off and go buy a bunch of new things like that. So they need an ever-escalating number of people here. So this is really about feeding the American economy. Social Security is just one part of it. Agribusiness is one part of it. There's a whole big machine in place. I've already told you all about the military. America wants to sit up here and go stand off with Russia and China. Russia has hundreds of millions of people. China's got a billion. You can't stand. America's been the largest military in the world now for four or 5 decades. You can't stare down Russia and China unless you bring in as many bodies as you can. You already know the military recruitment numbers are way down. Does the U.S. military care where the person wearing the uniform came from?
They don't.
So do you see how all these bodies got more than one use? So, brother, you're correct about Social Security, but it's bigger than rap. It's bigger than Social Security. It's bigger than that. Same tactic, same goal, but this feeds a whole lot more than just that. Their goal is to feed a whole bigger machine than just Social Security.
As one of your sound points is, damn. Hey, I'll land my plane there.
Thank you very much for giving us a call. Folks, it's bigger than that. I mean, it's a part of it, but it's way bigger. This thing keeps going. Way bigger than that. Way bigger. Let me go ahead and see if I can get Fred up here. Fred, give you a minute here to get your camera on for me here. If Fred's still awake. Not really sure. All right, there you go, Fred. I'm waiting for him to connect his audio there. All right, Fred, what's on your mind?
Yes, Jason. I think the last time I spoke, I validated what you said about them old niggas.
Okay, turn off your speakers, Fred. I'll give you 5 seconds to get your speakers off, bro. You got your echo in here. Go ahead and turn the YouTube off for you. You've got YouTube on. I can see it in your glasses, sir. So turn your YouTube off. I'll give you 5 seconds, then I got to go on.
Okay. I'll do what I can. Oh, okay. All right. Now I see it.
I'll give you 5 seconds, then I got to go on.
Okay. How's that?
I don't know. We'll see. All right, what's on your mind, Fred?
Oh, well, I'll be quick. I just want to validate what you said about them old niggers. I came up in that era, Jason. And what you have helped me to understand is that, back in the 1995, I sued the plant, which is probably one of the biggest companies in Florida. But what I realized is I was going against the norm. I should have been happy just to be there and get the check. And I remember back then, this young white guy came to me and he told me, he said, this is what the white folks was telling him because he was white. He said, they say you got a big mouth. In other words, they was calling me a big mouth nigger. And then the next day he came, another time he told me that, I don't think they can get you. I've been watching you. You got too much street sense. I never said anything. And the last thing he told me was, they say you are very unpredictable. In other words, I wasn't.
Okay, Fred's not just the only one unpredictable. His internet connection is unpredictable. All right, thank you very much for giving us a call tonight, Fred. I hope your settlement pays for a better internet connection. If you got a settlement, I hope it pays for a better internet connection. All right, let me see if I can get Colvin on here. Actually, Colvin looks like Joyce, I think. I'm not sure. We'll see. Waiting for them to connect their audio here. They're working on it. Why is all the old folk tonight, their audio is moving slow? I don't know why. We're going to get them on some fiber optic. All right, Colvin, did you get your audio connected? Oh, Lord, here we go. Got some big hoop earrings on, too. Okay, is this what Nene Leak's going to look like in 40 years? Damn! Colvin, can you hear me? I'm giving you a couple more seconds here, and then I got to move on. Okay, I'm gonna need some young person to go from house to house and show the old folks here how to hook up turn on their Zoom. I don't know why. Oh, then she got a cigarette too. Okay. Oh, I mean, she did 3 big puffs. Oh, she is just straight full flavor menthols. Full flavor menthols. Oh, I bet if she speaks, she's gonna sound like Red Fox. Hi, Jason. I'm glad to call you tonight. Baby, we cannot hear you. Try putting your phone on speaker. See if that works. Yeah, I said put it on speaker. She started reaching in the air. Like, okay, well, how is that going to work? See if you can try putting it on speaker. If that doesn't work, I don't know what to tell you. You guys setting this wrong there or something. I literally just got the Zoom with somebody, so. Yeah.
I'm here.
There you go.
Jason, I just want to say, my name is Joyce. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. My people are from Alabama.
Okay, you took your do-rag off, Joyce. I was about to say, I figured that was Joyce. Oh no, she still got it on.
No, I'm gonna tell you why. Because if you saw my forehead, you might think I'm one of those people from somewhere else.
Okay, gangster and all, baby. You look G'd up. Southside Chicago for real. That's all damn day. Where are you calling me out of?
I'm calling you from Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay, close enough. Were you down the street from Springfield?
Yeah, I heard about what's going on down there. But I just want to say this, Jason. The lady that called in, I kind of feel sorry for her. She's 70. I'm 74. But the difference between me and her or whatever, she is not woke. And we were taught back in the day to vote Democratic. And some people are still stuck on that. They are not listening. They are not hearing things. Jason, I've been listening to you for a while, but I've also done a little research myself. I don't need anybody to tell me about the immigrants coming over here and what they're doing to us. They are taking the jobs. They are getting the money for the housing. There was a Venezuelan guy who just got a house. They are getting food stamps. I can't even get food stamps. I was a teacher. We don't get the cost of living. So what I'm saying is when you start talking about the Bible, and I hate that, you always want to say the Bible, the Bible. The Bible is talking about afterlife. What about now? Muriel did embarrass herself, but Jason, she's 70. She's one of those older people. I just happen to be 74. No, I got teenagers in my house.
She embarrassed herself. She
really did embarrass herself. But the sad truth is her mind is still in chains. When you say to me that you're going to vote for Kamala, you are sick. If you can't see that she was the czar, somebody said she went down there. I heard she didn't, but somebody said she went down there and went to the wrong side. My point is this. If you've got, just like you said in Springfield, all these people coming in, they're coming into Black areas. You don't see them in the W areas. You don't see that. This is all the plan, Jason. I probably want to say it's been in place for like 20 years, and they're really trying to do it. I also want to ask you about this. There has been a second attempt on Trump's life. Will this affect anything? No. Because when he got shot before, then all this other stuff came up. They kind of like pushed it to the side.
You only get one assassination attempt per lifetime. So the big event was last time. I don't care if stuff starts blowing up again. It's people as credible as is, you've seen it in your lifetime because I know I've witnessed it. People become very desensitized very, very quickly. So no, especially if it's not on video or anything like that. So the last one was real dramatic because you saw everything that happened, including clipping the damn guy who tried to kill him. So in this case here, no, it's not even the same magnitude. So no, it's by give it 48 hours and they're going to be back to doing what they were doing. So no.
I want to say one last thing. I don't understand why Black people think that they have to vote. You do not have to vote. If you don't like Trump, you don't like Kamala, you don't have to vote. The couch looks pretty good with popcorn and a libation. I'll just say that. You don't have to vote. If neither party is for you and they're not doing anything for you, you do not have to vote. And if Black people stick by that, it will let them know you're not getting my vote. So maybe, I don't want to hear anything about, we're trying to do this and we got to do another study. We've had enough studies. We already know what's going on and they do too. So I'm just saying to Black people, you don't have to vote. And I'm not the Green Party. we all know, I heard the guy say that and I kind of understand what he's saying. I want them to know that I'm not voting for them, but I'm not voting for anybody that's not doing anything for me. It's been going on for so long, and people have to get out of this black and what was that other thing? Black and colored or black and people. No. When I came along, it was just, unless I was stupid, it was just black and white people. Now you got all this LGBT, you got this, you got that. It's too much. It's too much. You do not have to vote. I'll land my plan with that, Jason.
Well,
black people
Joyce,
do not have to vote.
Well, like I say, that's what I was saying before. When it becomes a religion to you or a sport, then you're just showing up to go through the motions. That's what they got folks trapped doing. They're doing symbolic things. Going to a football game is symbolic. It's not like you on the field. You don't get a win. They name it after your city, but what do you get if they win? If the Buccaneers win, what does Tampa Bay get? When the Saints win, what does New Orleans actually receive? I guess if you're a vendor, but for the average citizen, it's symbolic. And when you start treating, that's okay for sports. That's what I'm saying. That's all right for sports and for entertainment. Those are ultimately inconsequential. When we're talking about politics and you're treating it like sports, I'm like, okay, you've lost the damn plot. You're treating politics like a sport. You're getting played for a fool, and being that gullible, that's the part that's dangerous. I got to ask you, baby, were those full flavor lights?
What?
Was that full flavor menthol or lights, or what was that you was puffing on?
Oh, you weren't supposed to see me do that.
Baby, I mean big long white one.
It was Newport. That's what.
Of course. What else would it
but
be?
You weren't supposed to see that, Jason.
Baby, what else would it be? She said it was Newport's. I could have told you. What else would it be? What else? Of course, you would. That's like the champagne of black women smoking. The Newport's is the champagne. That's the Chanel bag. That's the Chanel bag of black women's cigarettes is Newport. That's the Chanel. She said, I don't do them cheap ones. I only do Newport's.
They cost $11.
What she say? And I'm 74 years old, y'all. She ain't worried about lung cancer, disease, nothing. She said them health benefits. I'm 74. Cigarettes don't hurt you. Okay, baby, look here. Maybe we need to get Muriel to smoke some. Maybe she'll be better. You 74, so hey, roll on.
No, she needs to smoke the ones with no name on them, for real. That might calm her down. But we are emotional people. We are.
Well, thank you very much for checking in with us, man. We appreciate it there. Yeah, y'all. I mean, she got a big long dress. I didn't think you saw that. Y'all forget yourselves. Smokers are strange like that. They forget themselves. They wake up in the morning, reach for their cigarettes, don't realize it. They smoke all day and don't even know they doing it. That's how they can smoke 3 packs a day. They ain't keeping track. They not keeping track of nothing. And she got white teeth too. It might be dangerous, but when she say she's 74 and she just still slowing and blowing. All right. We'll trade Muriel in for her though. Joyce can stay. Muriel got to go. Joyce can stay. Muriel got to go. We're going to go ahead and chunk it in here now. We've been on for a minute. 3 hours is long enough. 3 hours is long enough here. Everybody here, you know what's going to happen if we don't support. One of the candidates is going to find out here in November what happens when you do not court us, when you do not jockey for our support. You're going to find out one way or another. We don't play favorites. We got an agenda. We don't play favorites. We are not eternally grateful to anyone. Every 2 years is going to be, what have you done for me? Now, what else have you done for me? Get ready to be on that treadmill. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here tonight. I want to thank everyone who's contributed to support tonight's program on PayPal, Super Chat, Venmo. Black Powder Podcast has been gifted memberships. We appreciate that. Thomas gave one here. My man Black Voltron is weighed in. Appreciate seeing you here, brother. Gloria Sabri, Mogul Mays, Oberon Tucker. And if you are new here to the Black Channel, welcome to the Haven of Intelligent Black Thought. We do this every weekend. Click that red subscribe button. Click that yellow notification bell. Join us each and every time that we're here. If you haven't been to our website, Black Channel Films, go check out our past documentary work, 7 a.m. Gentrified Race War, and Tickets are on sale in New York for our new documentary, 8 a.m. Times Square, the Times Center. 8ammovie.com, 8ammovie.com. Click on screenings. You'll see the little ticket button there for all the other cities we're going to be coming to. You're going to be seeing those open up here as well. I look forward to all of you joining us for us. In the words of Don Cornelius, it's going to be a stone gas, honey. I want to thank all of you for tuning in to tonight's program. Thank you for watching live or recorded. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of the Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, Black is the future, and the future is uncompromising.